as they get to a tougher part of their schedule after putting up a few good wins earlier on in the season.
And Rockhurst has played better and better as the year's gone on with a good game last week against Miege.
Rockhurst is always a team that builds. Each week they get better, they get stronger. They have a tendency of having kids that start the season injured. It's really weird, but they get them back mid-season, and then they, by the time they're ready for the playoffs, guess what? They're hitting it hard, and they are always a tough out when it comes to the playoff season.
No doubt about that. And we're already seeing pretty good crowd filing in. We were expecting today that we might see some inclement weather for today's game. And as it turned out, it's an absolutely gorgeous day for football, as it turns out. A little warm for this time of year. But, now that the sun's going down and, it looks like, knock on wood, that our rain is going to stay away. We're not going to have any big, huge half-hour rain delays or lightning delays. Famous last words there. But I think that it should be a great day to watch, and I think Lee Summit West will probably travel pretty well out here, it looks like.
They will, and I'll tell you what, it was an experience for the Lee Summit West folks tonight, because this is the first time they've been on campus for a high school varsity football game on Friday night. Now, we've been over here for wrestling, we've been over here for basketball, but this is the first time we've come over here to play varsity football, so you got to learn the parking lot. You got to learn where you get to park, and then also it takes a little longer to get to this stadium where you have to walk down from the parking lot. And, again, this is a beautiful complex, and I'm glad we're here tonight to watch the action.
Well, and doing it on homecoming night, too. Talking about finding a place to park.
Yes.
That was a bit of a more of an adventure today than usually is. And like you said, the Titans from Lee Summit West it's not what I would call a new school anymore. They've been around for just under 2 decades at this point. But they didn't play Rockhurst at all until, about 5 years ago. And they weren't scheduled, and that was a playoff game.
Right.
And they weren't scheduled to play them during a regular season until 2 or 3 years ago.
That's right. And a lot of that has to do with the fact of Lee Summit West working their way up through the classes. And then when they hit Class 6, if you're in Kansas City, it's inevitable. Guess what? You got to cross paths with the Hawklets, and you got to play the game. And, of course, they got the opportunity to play the Hawklets when Coach Severino was here. And now they get to go against them with a very familiar head coach in Kelly Donahoe, as they squared off numerous times.
I was going to say, you're not going to.
Kelly was at Blue Springs.
You're not going to get anything slipping by, I wouldn't imagine, on both sides. Kelly's pretty familiar with both Vinny Careswell, the head coach of the Titans, and also Sterling, their offensive coordinator, might have a harder time throwing his little tricks.
Well, yeah, and then you throw the other coaches that are on the staff here with Kelly, Coach Oder, who was at Blue Springs South. He knows the West staff. He also knows the Coach Cruz, and Coach Cruz was at Ray Peck as a head coach for many, many years. And so when that trio gets together, they've got a strong base to coach from.
So the captain's heading out to the middle of the field for the coin toss prior to today's game. I don't know if they did this before. Sometimes they do, and they don't tell us. But they'll get their little sportsmanship lecture from the officiating crew. And then we'll see who's going to get the ball first. What are some of the keys, would you say, for both of these teams going into this game?
Keys of the game, let's start with the defense for the visitors from Lee Summit West. The defense has got to control the tempo and keep the Rockhurst drives to 6-8 plays or less. On offense, the Titans have got to get their quarterbacks going early. They're young, they're inexperienced, they're getting better each week, but if the Titans can mix in a little passing game with that running game, do a little play action, then they're going to be tough to handle. Now for the Hawklets, they're tough at home, always, and their offense is steady. They're now getting entrenched into Coach Donahoe's style of offense, and it's still pounding on the ground and then throw it when you need to. And then, oh, by the way, they'll sprinkle in a little trick play every once in a while when they need it. So that's what we look forward to seeing from Rockhurst on offense. Defensively, they're just hard-nosed, up the field, in your face, playing hard all the time.
Hawklets won the toss. They have deferred, so we will see the Lee Summit West Titan offense when we come back. Opening kickoff is coming up right after this. It is Rockhurst and Lee Summit West on high school football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Severino Field here at Rockhurst High School. Joel Becker along with Mark Files as the Rockhurst Hawklets getting set to take on the Lee Summit West Titans. And looks like it's Kyle Bush getting ready to tee the ball up right in the middle of the field on the 40-yard line. This, the special teams for the Titans have been kind of hit and miss. Brock Coble and Brian Haney back deep. And we've seen Brian Haney take it to the house on more than one occasion on both punts and kickoffs and interceptions and whatever. But at the same time, they've also seen some muffs and they've seen some other problems on the special team side.
They have, and they need this third part of the game plan to produce for them. Whether it's scoring a touchdown, that's great, but they also need field position out of this game so that offense has got a chance to be successful.
We are set to go. Bush approaches, and we're underway. A high end-over-end kick deep, coming to Coble at the 4. He'll head up the far sideline to the 20, 25, breaks a tackle, 35, up to the 40, hit and tackled by the kicker, by Bush himself. Knocked out of bounds at the 40. I think he lost the ball, but it went out of bounds. And the Titans will start with very good field position at their own, looks like about their own 39. It'll be 1st and 10.
Nice return by Coble. Nice job by the kickoff return team for Lee Summit West, creating those lanes. He got to the wall and worked it way up the far sideline.
Caden Heil gets the start for the Titans at quarterback. They come out in a pistol formation. One running back directly behind Heil on 1st and 10 from their own 39. And it'll be an inside give, and Mayo not too far. David Mayo, the running back, tried to go between the guards, which is an area where the Titans have had some success running the football, but this time the front three for the Hawklets, Willis, Thorpe, and Williams, able to get some pretty good hold up there on the line.
Mayo with the start at tailback tonight. Traditionally it's a Surratt, but you'll see a full dose of both those guys carrying the ball.
Jackson is in at this play, and on the direct snap, it is Hines. On the read option, he faked it to Surratt, took it himself, and gains about 7, well, call it 6, to the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 from there. Titans running on the first 2 plays, using Surratt as a decoy that time, and hoping to get, or avoid anyway, a 3 and out.
That was a nice mesh point by those 2 players. Surratt did an excellent job of carrying out that fake, which allowed Hines to get the few extra yards.
Hines back in, taking the direct snap with Mayo behind him in the pistol. They fake it to him. Hines rolling right, being pressured, throwing. He has an open man. It is caught, and it is the tight end Ford able to make the catch go out of bounds. And good enough for a 1st down all the way into Hawklet territory at the Rockhurst 40-yard line, 1st and 10. And the Titans offense on the moves to start off.
Joel, that's a new little wrinkle for the Titans. That is a pass that you look at and go, Hines, where are you going, man? You're running way too deep. But he made a nice throw, and Ford made a great catch to get the 1st down.
And good job for him not panicking there as Heil back in the game for this 1st and 10 play. It'll be a toss. And it's Coble on the end around. Left side 35 down to about the 31. A pickup of 8 or 9. And Coble is looking like he hurt his knee. Slow in getting up, and there will be an injury timeout here. Brock definitely looking like he's in some pretty big pain right now.
Yeah, that was a nice run by Coble.
It's technically a pass because it was
the little pitch
toss in front.
In front. But it was a nice effort by Coble. Let's hope he gets himself up there.
Yeah, and I can't tell for sure, but it looks to me like he may already have a brace on that knee. So it may not be so much that he injured it on that play as much as he may have aggravated it if there was a pre-existing injury. I don't know.
It looks like there's also a dad insult to injury. There's a flag there at the 40-yard line. So,
yeah, there is. So this may be coming back anyway for a hold. We'll wait and see on the indication from the referee, but they're definitely walking toward the Titans. So that will nullify an 8-yard gain and set up a 1st and 20 for Lee Summit West.
Looks like got him for holding.
Yeah,
right?
A holding call, and that is in fact, I don't know who, but I would imagine somebody on the outside there, either the left tackle or one of the receivers, usually in that sort of a situation. And so it'll be 1st and 20 from right at midfield, just on the Titan side. And they're bringing the Gator out, it looks like. They don't think that Brock's going to be able to even limp off, which is not a good sign.
That is not a good sign.
We are just underway here from Severino Stadium in Rockhurst. We've played 1:36 seconds. No score. Titans on their opening drive. Took the kickoff, got a first down, but then took a holding penalty and have one of their receivers, Brock Coble, injured on the field right now.
They're allowing both teams to come to the numbers here so the coaches can talk to them during the injury timeout.
Yeah. And I would say, this is probably going to take a little while, so we'll take a timeout ourselves. No score right here from Severino Stadium at Rockhurst. It is Rockhurst and Lee Summit West. We'll take a break and come back with the 1st and 20 play from midfield right after this on high school football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
No matter what your goals are, competing at the next level, participating in a local 5K, or leading your team to state, the Sports Medicine Center at Children's Mercy is here to provide comprehensive 360-degree care for student athletes. Performance training, injury prevention, rehab services, nutrition, mental wellness, surgery, and more. It's not just about the next goal or the one after that. It's about supporting a lifetime of sport and helping every student athlete play healthy.
After the injury, it is a 1st and 20 play, and on the quarterback keeper, again, the direct snap for Lee Summit West to Hines, or that was Mayo, excuse me. No, it was Hines. And, 6 and 8. It's kind of always hard to tell, but he'll pick up about 5 yards and set up a 2nd, and it's 15 from there. Just under 10 minutes left to go. We've played a little over 2 here in the first quarter, scoreless. Titans trying to overcome a holding penalty and see if they can't get something moving on their first opening drive here. Heil back in the game. From the shotgun back to throw, looking left side. He's getting a rush, throwing right side. It is off the hands of Hines and incomplete. Good coverage over on the play by the safety, Jin Greco, who came up and made a hit, but it was really more of a high throw than anything else that caused that play to fail.
Well, Hines is the junior quarterback, and he has got to work on that timing.
Heil, I'm sorry.
Heil, yeah, and he's got to work on that timing. He just decided to make his decision to throw it to Hines a little bit too late. Needs to be a little quicker on the decision-making process.
So 3rd down and 15, Twins on either side for Heil, back to throw, trying to set up a screen for Mayo, and he will get caught from behind. Made it to almost the original line of scrimmage. at the 41, and it'll be a 4th and 11, and looks like the punting unit coming in for the Titans, and they'll play field position here and see if they can't send Rockhurst way back, which I tell you what, their punter, who is Trey Sweeney, has been good at that this year.
Yeah, he's had, I think it's 7 punts inside the 20-yard line this year so far, and they're the little coffin corners, the ones that trickle out of bounds down by the 5-yard line. So
not seeing a whole lot of movement from the flags either, so it doesn't seem like wind is a big factor. The kick is a bit of a line drive, and it is going to go out of bounds inside the 20, like you said. In fact, right at the 15-yard line, and that's where we'll see the Hawklets get their first shot on offense. Scoreless game, 8:40 to go, first quarter. The Titans did start to move, had a first down, and had a pretty good run, but a holding penalty really killed that drive.
Yes, penalties, especially the holding penalty, is one that does a lot of damage to high school football teams. So now we switch over to see what the Hawklets have to bring, starting deep in their own territory.
So looks like Ethan Hansen will head out to take the snap. Bailey's in the slot on the right side. He does have a man in the backfield, and he'll throw near side. It is caught immediately, but out of bounds by Koch, and not much there on the gain. Probably about a 2-yard gain up to the 17. It'll be 2nd and 8 from there.
Not a lot on the pass, but that's okay. I mean, he's got to get it in there where he can work it up the field, gives him a good look. Now he's setting up the defensive back for Lee Summit West for that out and up.
Well, you had the 3 minutes on wait, and then you also had the injury, so it sort of gets him into the game, give him an easy throw to make, and it is on the left side a toss again to Koch, and this time pretty good coverage over there for the tackle, as looked like McGrew came up to make the hit and set up a 3rd down and about 5 from the 20.
Coach Donahoe's just basically going through the progression, setting Lee Summit West up. He has that card where it's probably got 10, 15 plays on it, as most coaches do.
So it'll be 3rd and 5, and looks like we may get a timeout by the Hawklets, I'm assuming. We'll wait and see for the indication. It is a Rockhurst timeout, 8 minutes exactly left to go. Now this is the 5th game of the season, right?
It is.
So we're done with the water breaks at this point by Misha rule. We're in October as well.
We're in October 1st, yes. So
I don't think it makes any difference what month it is anymore. I think it's just the first 4 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
And Rockhurst elected to call a timeout. I think they were just running out of time on the play clock. There was some pretty good misdirection on the 2nd down play. It was, first of all, a fake to the running back, but then also it looked, at least at first, like the quarterback was going to keep it himself, and then he makes the throw. And so, like you said,
it's the RPO. You got to check out all 3 options.
So after the timeout again, 3rd and a long 5. The ball just right on the 20-yard line, just a hair shy. They need the 25, under center. And rolling out to the left side, being chased, caught from behind and sacked. A great play defensively. Chase Hammond caught Hansen from behind and knocks him back for a loss, and the Titans will get the ball back on a 3 and out from the Hawklets.
What a great job by the defender from West. The speed to track down the quarterback was just tremendous.
Just untouched. I mean, he was unblocked into the back, and that's what really set it aside. And now it looks like it's going to be Bailey, who is, by the way, was a quarterback last year, but he's going to be standing in his own end zone. A low snap. He rolls to the right. A rugby-style kick will come down for Haney at midfield. He stutter steps, gets up to the 45, hit and tackled there.
Nice job by Haney to catch the ball and get upfield and get what he could.
Return of 5 yards, and great field position for the Titans on their second try here on offense. They, like I said, they did okay. It was basically a couple of straight runs and a throw on 3rd down by, the Wildcat. but then a holding penalty stalled the drive. That tends to do that.
It does, and the other thing we've got to watch out for with both these teams doing that run-pass option is the lineman getting downfield and getting called for an ineligible receiver downfield. So that's one of the things we've seen a lot of here, and there's been an emphasis on that call this season.
Surratt in the game split backs with the Wildcat Hines, and on the quarterback draw right up the middle. And he got some pretty good running room, a good hole. As I said before, there has been some running room for the Titans this season between the guards, and that was the case. It was a pretty good play by the end, Williams, to step up and catch him from behind and keep him from getting more than that. But a good gain on first down. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And that's open early for the Titans. Now we need to see what their adjustment is in the second half and what Rockhurst can do in the second half to prevent that from being big plays.
Heil gives to Surratt his first carry of the game, and he got across. His forward progress stopped after about 3 yards. It'll set up a 3rd and short, 3rd and about 2, as Caden Heil handing off to Jackson Surratt for a short 3rd down situation. Halfway through the first quarter, we're coming up on the 6-minute mark, no score. From here at Rockhurst, the Hawklets and Titans scoreless. Again, split backs. Hines to take the snap in the middle. He's also a running back / receiver, and then you got Mayo and Surratt on either side, and it is going to be Surratt. He's able to get the first down and more. Forced out of bounds, knocked down at the 30-yard line. A little bit of a reaction from the crowd, but it'll be good for a first down, moves the chain. Second straight time the Titans have the football and are able to at least get a first down.
Nice blocking by the offensive line there for the Titans. What they're doing is they're using that crossbuck action, the counter action, and Hines is doing a great job of handling the ball fake and giving the running back a chance to hit that hole with some speed to pick up those big yards.
Boy, they got trips on the right, and there is an overabundance of players out there. I don't know if they're noticing this, Hines, but he gives it to Surratt, makes a nice cut up the middle, gets about 6 across the 25 to the 24. It'll be 2nd and 4 from there. But did you see what I saw in terms of you had 3 receivers and 2 defenders, and there was no safety help or anything over there?
No, the safety was up for he was playing the run. He had said, nope, I'm not buying that passing formation, Titans. I'm playing the run.
But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, it wasn't just us who noticed that,
right.
That maybe the coaching staff of the Titans, and they may try and exploit that at some point later on. We'll see. We'll see if the Hawklets keep doing it, for that matter. 2nd down and 4. Heil is back in, this time out of the pistol with Surratt behind him. And it is a give to Surratt, trying to go off right tackle, cuts inside. He'll get a first down across the 20 into the red zone at the 18, 1st and 10 for the Titans. And it's this second drive been a relatively steady diet of Jackson Surratt.
Surratt does a nice job of getting his shoulders. And on this field, we're going east-west. So he's heading up the field, heading to the east.
You still call it north-south.
I know you do. You still call it north-south, but just for the folks that are watching at home. But he does a great job of getting those shoulders square and heading for the house.
Well, and he's done a good job of hesitating as well to see where the holes are going to open and then head to them. 1st and 10 Titans. Heil on the give, again up the middle. Big hole. And Surratt will get inside the 10, close to a first down. I believe he's just short. It looked like Donnelly with the tackle from the linebacker position. The Titans go quick here on 2nd down and short. Surratt in motion. Now they're going to look over to the sideline. There is an H-back. It's the fullback on the left side. Now he moves over to the right from the pistol. And it's Heil give against Surratt, this time trying to go up the middle. Not much there. Did he fall forward for a first down? We'll wait and see where the spot is, but I think he did. And I believe we're going to have a 1st and goal here, but let's wait and see. He needed about 2 yards. They're taking a look, and yep, first down, 1st and goal for Lee Summit West. We're down to 3.5 minutes to go, 3:35 in this first quarter. Scoreless game so far. This is the 2nd offensive possession for Titans. Rockhurst had a 3 and out.
tell you right now, Joe, we're looking at a difference in size of the Titan offensive line against the Hawklet front five.
It's Surratt up the middle, in toward the end zone. They're going to say not quite there, at about the half-yard line. And if you've noticed, almost every one of these runs, about the last 5 runs, they've been going toward the middle, not necessarily right up the center, but at least between the tackles. And Jackson has found daylight every time.
He's found the seam, that's for sure. And he takes a direct snap. There he is.
And into the end zone for the touchdown. Titans on their second offensive possession, able to march down. They had pretty good field position to start with, a 45-yard drive. And they'll take a 6-0 lead with the extra point to come. A literal half-yard run there for Surratt.
But it's a nice reward for the young man that did a lot of the heavy lifting on that drive.
Grayson Hanna out for the extra point out of the hold of Abercrombie. Snap back, ball down, kick up. It is high, long, and it is good. So 2:49 left to go here in the first period. The Lee Summit West Titans strike first. They lead at 7-0. We'll have the kickoff for you when we come back here on High School Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's back to school time, and at Academy, your favorite brands are all in play. Like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Crocs, Puma, and the North Face. Bring on the fun and get out there. Whether you're playing for the home team or perfecting your game at home, at Academy, we'll bring the fun to you. Buy online and pick up curbside or in-store and get free shipping on orders over $25.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back out to Severino Field. Joel Becker along with Mark Files. Rockhurst and Lee Summit West. Titans leading the Hawklets 7-0 late in the first quarter. 9-play, 45-yard drive for Lee Summit West, culminating in a half-yard touchdown run. It'll be officially a yard for Surratt. The kickoff by Selby is short, taken at the 20-yard line up to the 25 and forced out of bounds. And there's a bit of a late hit. Waiting for a flag, but I don't think we're going to see one. Over on the Titan sideline.
Looks like they had a little extra conference, a little howdy meet and greet session there.
And for the second time in the game, we'll get a chance to see this Rockhurst offense. As we talked about before, they did eventually end up going 3 and out. After a couple of positive plays, they couldn't convert the third down. They'll start on their own 29. Looks like I formation. Don't see that too much anymore, do you?
Nope.
And it is a toss sweep on the right side. Hit and tripped up was Leggio. And on his first carry of the day, good for a couple. Across the 30 to maybe the 32. Let's give him 3 and make it 2nd and 7.
Yep, I formation and a sweep around the end. That's old school
Old school.
football.
No cloud of dust anymore. You just get the little rubber pellets off a field turf. Again, I formation. And it's a reverse. And a good job sniffing it out by the Titans defense. Really coming up to blow that up. And making a very good play into the backfield was Dooley. As he comes up, and really before Koch had a chance to get going at all. It's going to be a big loss on the play back to the 26, so it'll be 3rd and 13 from there.
That's one of the safeties coming up and forcing the run. I guarantee you the Rockhurst coaching staff made note of that when they looked for a play-action pass.
So on the 3rd down play, it's a give Leggio, and the Hawklets look like they're going to go 3 and out again. He's able to get positive yards, but not even to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two on the play. Let's give it a yard, 4th and 12. I don't know, does that say anything about, the confidence in Hansen in terms of throwing the football? I don't know.
Well, it's still early. You're trying to fill each other out. And I'll tell you what, the defensive line and the overall size of that Titan front looks like they're pretty dominating right now.
Bailey on the rugby-style kick. He will kick it away, and it'll be Haney at the 37, right up the middle, breaks the tackle, gets up to midfield. We'll see where they mark it, down right at the midfield stripe. Another good return for Haney, about, 13 yards or so, and it'll be 1st and 10, and another short field for the Titans. They made good use of it the last time around, marching down mostly under the legs of Jackson Surratt.
I like the way Haney returns the ball. He's no nonsense. He just gets up the field and goes.
Yeah. And he's got some speed.
Some speed.
What is he, a hurdler? Is that what you've told me?
He's a state hurdler.
Yeah.
He was all state.
Didn't jump over anybody, but he certainly has some speed.
Well, he's a smart hurdler because he keeps his feet on the ground on a football field, that's for sure.
Definitely a good idea. Empty backfield, at least to start here for Heil. He's got Mayo in the slot on the right side. We'll see if he comes back, one of 3 receivers. Now Mayo does move, but back to throw, and Heil's throw is caught. And a good defensive play there, not letting go on Ford, who makes his 2nd catch of the day, but not much there, maybe a gain of 2. We'll say 2nd and 8. So it'll be 2nd and 8 into Hawklet territory for Lee Summit West. They lead at 7-0. This could be the last play. It looks like it's going to be the last play of the first quarter as the clock ticks down to nothing. And we have played 12 minutes of football from here at Severino Stadium at Rockhurst. Lee Summit West 7, Rockhurst nothing. We'll take a break and come back for the second quarter right after this on high school football here. Presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Don't trust the biggest investment of your life to a part-time real estate agent. Trust the #1 real estate team in Kansas and Missouri, the Rob Ellerman team at Reese Nichols. With over 90 agents and 5 offices across the metro, they'll match you up with the perfect agent to get you moving with confidence. They cover the entire metro area, from Lee Summit to the Northland to Johnson County. They also have offices in Des Moines and Springfield, Missouri, and Destin, Florida, if you know of someone looking to move. The Rob Ellerman team truly is your real estate resource. Call anytime at 816-304-4434 or visit therobellermanteam.com. The Rob Ellerman team, a proud supporter of Kansas City Metro High School athletics.
Back live here at Rockhurst High School in Kansas City, Missouri. Joel Becker along with Mark Files. Rockhurst and Lee Summit West. The Hawklets trailing the Titans 7-0 as we get started with the second quarter of play. Lee Summit West with the football, 2nd and 8 on the 48-yard line of Rockhurst. The officials really like it when you end a quarter and the ball's on like the 48, 49.
Me too, because I don't have to take my shoes and socks off to count off the yards.
It'll be another direct snap here as Hines takes it and nowhere to go. Good penetration that time by the interior line of the Hawklets. A couple of people, including your nose guard Thorpe, with the penetration. So that time, I don't know, maybe using their speed, because like you said, they do have a size disparity. But usually, that's when you need to start swimming or doing something to take advantage of your, better agility.
And the Titans' offensive line, though it's probably the strength of the team, they have struggled with the team stunting on them in front of them.
So 3rd down and 9. We'll see if they go past this time, and they do as Heil back to throw, looking left side, throwing left side. He's got a man open and incomplete. He was looking for Ford, and good defensive play that time to break it up. Coming back, Middleton. And the safety was able to, it was really, he was open, and so a better throw probably would have been maybe even 6 points if he could have let him a little bit, but he underthrew him just a hair, and it was enough for Middleton to catch back up.
That's the thing about pass interference at the high school level is the kids
no
going,
face
there's
guarding.
no face guarding.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sweeney standing back at his own 35. He'll take a couple of steps up here. And I think the Titans are going to call timeout. I don't know exactly what it was that they were confused about. Ahead 7-0. This is probably not a go-for-it type situation for the Titans. But Coach Careswell and the staff wanted to talk something over. Maybe they just didn't like the formation, that there was 2 guys back for Rockhurst. Maybe they were concerned about the run back potentially. Although, again, last time, Sweeney's been very good about putting it out of reach, and it was probably not quite as far down the field as he was wanting, but it was still inside the 20 at about the 15, and he kicked it right out of bounds, so there was no chance of any kind of run back anyway.
Well, and you could have had one of the coaches recognize something from scouting film that said, hey, we don't like this formation. You need to be ready for this, whatever this is.
Yeah. O'Boyle and Flood back deep for the Hawklets. Sweeney standing at his 35. Bit of a low snap, but he kicks into it. It was a short kick, and it was taken by Flood and tackled across the 20 at about the 22. A good open field tackle, but a good return as well. And not the best field position for Rockhurst, but certainly nothing, it could have been a lot worse, we'll put it that way.
That's right.
And when you're getting a kick that's coming from your side of midfield and you end up outside the 20, you're generally relatively happy with that.
Call that a victory.
So Hansen takes his team back into an I formation. We'll see if they decide to throw out of this formation. Last time they didn't have a whole lot of success running. But they give it to Leggio trying the left side, and he is stopped. It was Hammond, the safety that was coming off the left side there, came off his block and held him up enough until his teammates were able to come in and finish the job. Little to no gain on the play, maybe a half a yard or so. It'll be second down and a long 9 or about 10 from there.
Tell you what, 33 is a load coming out of the I-back
Big
position.
Kid. Yeah, no question. On the other hand, he hadn't really been able to get going quite yet.
But those are the players that wear you out in the fourth quarter. That's when they start having a lot of success.
Well, and sometimes a change of pace will have a big deal. Play action. Hammond rolling right side, throwing on the run. He's got a man, and it's Cook, and he is out of bounds up around the 41-yard line. Pickup of nearly 20 on the play, as Hansen looked pretty good there coming out of the bootleg situation, throwing on the run, and he fired a strike, didn't he?
There he did, and there you go. That's exactly what Coach Donahoe likes to do. He likes to lull the defense to sleep and then take advantage with those strategic strikes down the field, pick up a good 20 yards, and the Rockhurst Hawklets have got something working here.
1st and 10 from their own 42, 10-13 to go in the first half. Rockhurst trailing 7-0 to Lee Summit West, this time in an offset I, and it'll be a give. And it's Flood, and he's hit from behind and taken down. Wyatt Ramsey with the tackle. And Flood was looking for a hole to open, didn't realize that he had somebody coming up from behind. Gained about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Hawklets are running back by committee tonight. They've got several folks that have touched the ball and filling in.
So we'll see. The Titans have been able to get them into 2nd and 3rds and longs, but the last time they were able to overcome that. Again, the I formation with twins on the left, and there is movement as Woods jumped to the count. I would call that encroachment.
Because there was contact, correct?
Yeah.
As we got our lesson from the rules official a couple weeks ago, right?
Well, the rules official says that encroachment doesn't require contact. And that there isn't offsides. Offsides doesn't require contact either. But, in the case of high school, once you cross, it's the play's over, there, whether there's contact or not. He believes that it's always encroachment. I actually am not so sure that I am on board with that. I think it's offsides if you don't touch them.
Yeah, and if you just line up offsides,
right.
It's offsides. It's not encroachment, that's for sure.
After the penalty, 2nd and 3, and it is an inside give. Sexton, and he will get a first down and more into Titan territory at the Lee Summit West 44. Oh, that was Leggio.
Again,
Well, he was coming from the fullback position.
Spot,
but it was Leggio and not Sexton who did the carry. And it'll be a 1st and 10. Like you said, he is a load, so he can certainly play fullback or tailback.
And I'll tell you what, man, he hit that hole quick from the fullback position. That was impressive.
Yep. That's where he is now with Flood behind him in the eye. Twins out on the left side. Under center on play action. Rolling to the left side, getting chased. Throwing, and is incomplete. Underthrown, it looks like, for his intended receiver. It was, I believe he was looking for O'Boyle. It's kind of hard to tell, though, because there were 2 in the area and one of them fell down. And so I don't know if he maybe was trying for the one who fell down and that's why it was so short to O'Boyle, or if he just, he was feeling pressure, was Hansen. And a lot of times that'll also cause an underthrown ball, too. So it'll be 2nd and 10. For the Hawklets from the Titan 44. Again, the I formation this time, receivers on either side. And it is on the option. And, we've got flags coming down on a probable face mask. As Hansen was hitting the back. It's unfortunate because he had him wrapped up, and it would have been a nice loss of about 5. But this one's probably going to go all the way back to the around where the yard to gain is.
This is always interesting. They did call the personal foul on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you could not have a personal foul on a face mask. I know they got the
I don't
5.
think that – do they have it in high school?
They do have a 5-yard variety, yeah.
But at any rate, it will be the 15-yard variety here, and that will be, well, it's going to be about a half a yard shy of a first down. That's actually good for the Hawklets, interestingly enough. It's nice when you get a first down, but you're going to get to replay the down, so now you have 2nd and about half a yard here, and that gives you a lot of options as to what you can do. Hansen under center. Again, the I formation behind him. And it is Hansen throwing. He's trying to go down the middle, and it is incomplete. Broken up by Haney, looking for Koch, going on a post route, and a good job there. Brian Haney coming up to, he was pretty stride for stride from him in the first place, but he, whatever gap there was, he was able to leap up, use his hurdling abilities, and knock that ball down. He probably was disappointed with himself for not coming down with the ball himself.
Most definitely. I tell you what, we're going to keep an eye on those 11s tonight because I think that's going to be a good matchup in the passing game.
No doubt. Now it's 3rd, and again, it's less than a yard. The ball's right on the 40, and they have to get to the 35, and they have to get to just shy of the 34. And it'll be Leggio. And, boy, he came off a big hit. And, I tell you what, when Grauberger hits somebody, usually they stop. And if you can knock Howie and then go forward, that says something about you. And I tell you what, Leggio probably gave him a little lesson right there.
Got to get low when you tackle the young man from Rockhurst. He's a big-time runner.
A good sustained drive here by the Hawklets. They have it 1st and 10 from the Titan 32, trailing 7-0 with about 8 minutes left to go in the first half of play. Still out of the I formation under center. Hansen the give. Leggio, he was hit in the backfield, carries forward, and he's taken down, but not before he gains across the 30 to about the 29. It'll be a pickup of, let's call it 3, 2nd and 7.
That was Dooley for the defense, for the Titans, up in there making that tackle, man. He is anticipating that run and coming hard from the inside.
We have talked about the fact that on more than one occasion the Titans have seen safeties coming up almost as a down lineman, which you can get away with in high school. From the shotgun for the first time, quarterback draw. Hansen trying to go up the middle, and he is taken and slammed down by
2-2.
Yeah, it was
Hammond.
Chase Hammond, who tends to make a lot of high-profile plays, and is ready to take over for Harley Race and Nature Boy Ric Flair with the little side suplex there.
Give him a little woo.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down from the 29. Maybe in four down territory here. I don't know what kind of distance the kicker may have. It would be about a 45-yarder from here. And it looks like the Hawklets are going to take a timeout. 6:41 left to go in the half. And Rockhurst burns their second timeout here in the first half. It's a big play. I mean, the real question is, again, if you're thinking you might be in field goal range or close to field goal range, then you might call a play, as opposed to trying to set up an 8-yard gain. You might call a run or something where you figure, well, if I get 3 yards, we can try the field goal. If I get 7 yards, we can go for it on fourth down, that kind of thing.
Well, and again, here's the other thing. If they get that 7 yards, then you go with a quick snap and get them on fourth down. And the
you
Titans,
could, or you could just say, here, Leggio, get a yard. That won't be a problem.
Well, I just know the Titans have had problems with that fourth down or that quick snap
you're right.
back-to-back plays. And so, the Hawklets aren't going to be without giving that a shot or a try.
I would not be at all surprised to see play action on this play, but not necessarily for a long throw. I mean, you could even use it to set up a screen or any number of things. Leggio is in the backfield in the shotgun formation to the right of the quarterback, Hansen.
How about Leggio on a swing pass? They had moving out there on the number 11, right?
We get a whistle and, like you said, a pre-play foul. It'll be a false start. And that changes things quite a bit because that'll kill 5 yards and set up a third down and more than 10. It'll be third and about 12. Ball will be at 34. They need to get to the 22. So, like I said, third and 12. And that, that makes a big difference on what kind of play call. It looked like they were going to run it with Leggio.
Well,
it could have been a play action. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, your pass routes go from being 8 to 9 yards. Now they got to go 12 to 15 yards to get back.
Well, if you want to
first down.
Yeah, if you want to get a first down on this play, but they still may do the same 8-yard run and figuring you'll go for it on fourth. I don't know. We'll see. They go back to the I formation. Titans, they throw it down the sideline. The miscommunication there clearly between O'Boyle and the quarterback Hansen. That was to no one. Looked like the guy who had the best chance was Bowers. Orion couldn't even catch up with it himself. And it'll be fourth down. And it looks like they're going to probably have to go for it here on fourth down. They're too far in to punt it away. But this is not. That's why you wanted to have at least a few yards to make this more makeable. But we'll see. It's going to be a pooch kick. And let's see if he puts it in the end zone. He does. So Hansen with the pooch kick on the direct snap. So it'll be a touchback, and the Titans will take over. Basically their worst field position, though, of the first half at their own 20.
That it is.
They probably would have liked for it to be a little bit further in, the Hawklets, I mean.
That pooch kick is a Coach Tom Cruise special.
Yeah, I know.
He does the special teams, and he always has done that for years.
I
giving
remember
the quarterback the opportunity to kick that.
Of course, we saw that was also occasionally a Royce Bames special as well.
Yes, it was.
The former coach of this Titan team. We'll see what Lee Summit West does as they go again direct snap. Hines from their own 20 on play action. Doesn't really have anywhere to go with it. Getting a rush, throwing, and it's incomplete. As he was improvising, it looked like. Sent it toward Dickerson, a little bit short of the target. Kind of threw it at his knees, and it'll be second down.
That's part of the learning curve for the young quarterbacks with the Titans is what do you do with the ball if it's not there? Do you tuck it and run? Do you throw it away? That's all part of that learning curve.
Well, I'll give him credit. He didn't take a sack.
That's right.
Heil back in from the pistol. It'll be a give Surratt trying to go up the middle. He was hit. Got positive yards, and there's a flag down, though. Looked like he got to about the 21, but where the flag is, you would imagine, well, it's either going to be a hold or a face mask. And it is a face mask against the Hawklets, the 5-yard variety. So it's a 5-yard variety. Should be from the end of the run. And it'll set up a 2nd down and 5 from there. The real key to that is they keep the down. Because this is a much more makeable situation when you have 2 downs to get 5 yards.
And since it's 2nd down, that's even better, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I know it.
So we'll see what the Titans want to do here. We're down to just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Lee Summit West on top 7-0. Heil from the pistol gives it Surratt, this time with the hole up the middle. And he'll get a 1st down and more across the 30 to about the 32, maybe 33. They'll give him the 32, 7-yard carry. And it'll be 1st and 10, Lee Summit West.
Yeah,
that was what was open.
Yeah, exactly. And you were talking about having 2 downs to get 5 yards. You're not to the point where you can totally open the playbook, but man, they're getting real close.
Well, and that play was the one that was open on the one scoring drive we've seen in this game.
Yes,
it was a steady diet of that. Go off right tackle or off left tackle and look for a hole up the middle, and that's what he got. And a quarterback draw, Hines. He's pulled down as he gets to the 35. They'll probably give him the 34. And it'll be a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8.
Hines went up through that same hole there again.
Yeah, although he has not had nearly the success that Surratt has. He is not quite as big as Jackson either. That may have
but it's
something to do
also
with
a different
it.
mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a running back, you got one job: get up the field and get as many yards as you can. When you're in that quarterback, you got to fake. You're looking at that RPO action. You got to do several things to distract the defense.
In his case, it was a draw both times.
Right.
Heil on play action rolls to his left. He'll stop. He'll throw down the middle. He's got a man, and it is intercepted. Picked off by the Hawklets way down at their own 32-yard line. And that was O'Boyle on the catch. He did have a man open, and I tell you what, Miller was there, and he didn't do a good enough job for fighting for the football himself. As a receiver, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, Miller basically stayed on the ground, didn't go get it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was.
And O'Boyle came over his back and took the ball away from him. It was a great play defensively.
Nice job by the Hawklet defense of flipping the field here.
So they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 32. 4:33 left to go in the first half. They have 1 timeout remaining. We'll see what they do here as they hit the field. They get out in the I formation. Under center Hansen. Twins on the right side. They give it, and Leggio finds a hole, and he is hit and tackled as he gets to the 44-yard line. And I tell you what, McGrew saved a touchdown possibly right there. They might have been able to catch up to him. I don't know. I haven't seen him run in the open field too much, but the way that the Titans were playing defense on that, it was one of those things where you get by the 2nd level and you're gone.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. As Leggio gets going, he's going to get tougher and tougher to bring down as that defense gets tired on the Titans side.
1st and 10 Hawklets from their own 44. Offset eye this time. Under center Hansen. He'll give Leggio up the middle, and he kind of tripped as he was trying to make a move. He was off balance when Ramsey ran into him, took him down for a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 from there. But he was looking to make a cut, it looked to me like, and kind of lost his balance.
We call that a Casper tackle.
Hey, they still count the same in the scoreboard.
That's right. Hey, while we got a second here, let's give a shout out to Coach Parks, who's still on a rehab assignment. Keep working hard, Coach. We'd love to see you back on the sideline before the end of the season.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 9 on play action, rolling left, throwing, and it is caught for a gain of about 2. That was once again O'Boyle on the catch, but good defense to catch him immediately. It'll be a pickup, let's call it 3 to the 48. Rockhurst needs to get to the Titan 46, so it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Nice job by McGrew getting up off those knees and driving the receiver back and holding him to that short gain. That's a good form tackle.
Yeah. And as it turned out, the play, I think it was not, they were hoping for, a different defensive look. And it looks like Rockhurst is going to burn their last time out here. They let the clock down to 2:41, and that is their last timeout. It is kind of odd, the Hawklets, the timing of their timeouts have been strange this first half.
When it comes to timeouts, when Coach Donahoe, he doesn't have a pattern. I mean, he doesn't believe in saving them. He believes in using them and communicating your message to the team. I mean, that's how he does it.
Well, it's a big third down play here. Again, you got 2:41 to go in the half. You're down a touchdown, and you're just on your own side of the 50-yard line with a 3rd and 6. So if you can keep a drive going, you're in a good position here to, and you're going to get the football to start the second half. You're in a good position to maybe get on the scoreboard at least or tie the game up. On the other hand, if the Titans defense can come up with a stop here, they're going to get the ball back with plenty of time to drive down themselves.
Exactly. And with Coach Donahoe and his mind on offense, do not be surprised to see that play action opportunity right here, setting up that out and up route. Maybe it goes out of the shotgun, but no, it looks like he's going to be under center. So that traditional 6 or 5, 7 step drop could be in play right here.
Coke and O'Boyle on the right side, and it is play action, but they're chasing him, throwing. It is caught. Leggio, big tackle by Dooley in the open field to prevent the first down. It'll set up a 4th down, and the question is, do they go for it here? It's going to be at the 49, so it's only gain of a yard. It sets up a 4th and 5.
That was well played by Dooley.
It really was, because that could have gone a lot worse. But it looks like the offense is staying on the field. Of course, we could see another pooch punt. You never know. We saw that in the last play. But Hansen comes out in the shotgun. And he is going to pooch punt it, it looks like. Boy, they came after him this time. And it's Haney making the catch at the 10. He's pulled down when he got up to the 15, probably rolled forward to the 17, and so the Titans will get it there. And I tell you what, Haney and Cook came together there, and Haney gave him a nice little slap as he got up, saying good tackle. Like you said, those two pair of number 11s are probably going to be going at it all game long.
And that 11 for Lee Summit West, he has no fear of catching that punt, does he?
No, he certainly doesn't. And he was playing safety, in case it was offense, but came back. Now, is there a flag or what? It looks like the official's pointing at himself like it's some sort of an official timeout. So no flag or anything, but the Titans 1st and 10 from their own 17. I don't know what they're going to do here. Rockhurst has no timeout, so the Titans can run the clock off, obviously, at this point, and go to the locker room with a 7-0 lead. I'm sure they're going to try and see what yards they can get, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just sort of keep it on the ground and see what happens. And it is a student body left for Hines on the direct snap as he gets across the 20 to about the 23, where we just that direct sweep that you sometimes see. That's the first time we've seen it this game. They go quickly. And it is a give up the middle, big hole for Mayo, still on his feet and goes out of bounds as he gets up near midfield. He'll be at the Titan 46, about 4 yards shy of midfield. A great run by David Mayo, his biggest of the night by far. Might be the longest run of the night by the Titans.
That's a big-time change of pace run there by Mayo. He and Surratt run just a little bit different, and that allows those big runs like that.
Hines on the direct snap, faked it to Mayo. Titans go and hurry up here. And they will hand it off. Mayo trying to stiff arm his way. He's being sent down. Oh, got hit toward the face area at the very end. Went down kind of hard. Slow in getting up, but it'll set up a 3rd down and 8, and the Titans will call timeout. That's their second, so they have one left with 1:04 left to go.
Interesting take on the 2-minute hurry-up
Yeah,
offense.
I don't know why they were doing it, to be quite honest. First of all, they had plenty of time. They had 2 timeouts. I think they were trying to catch the Hawklet defense off guard, figuring we know what we're doing and they don't know what we're doing. But, there was one effective play and one not so effective play.
Right.
So.
Well, go back to that comment I made about the difference between Mayo and Surratt. Surratt is basically thunder, and we're going to call Mayo lightning. I think that's the best way to describe them.
Well,
Thunder makes Surratt makes all the hard runs in between tackles. Mayo's got that extra gear where he's able to juke and jive a little bit and get through those holes and make those big runs of 40 yards and plus.
He does have some size, though.
He does.
Hines is more of the scat-back type runner.
Right.
Himself.
Mayo kind of reminds me of Larry Johnson of the old Chiefs.
Yep, taller guy. Higher center of gravity. They've got Heil out for this play, though, 3rd down and 8. Will they go to the air? That's, the question is, of course, now if you don't get the first down, you're giving Rockhurst some time. And on play action, Heil will throw, and it was hit. He had an open man forward, but it was a great defensive play coming in off the linebacker Wemhoff, and he was able to jump up and get a paw on that one and create a 4th down. And so this is what I was talking about with exactly a minute left to go on the clock. The Titans are going to have to punt it away on 4th and 8 from their own 48. Whereas if they either hadn't called timeout or had kept it on the ground or something like that, or hadn't done what they'd done in terms of the hurry up, they might have been able to at least prevent Rockhurst from having any chance of doing anything on their last drive. But we'll see what happens here. Sweeney standing on his own 33, bit of a high snap, but he's got it, kicks it away, and he angles it toward the sideline. It bounces, take a Titan bounce inside the 10, and comes to rest at the 6-yard line. Another great punt from Sweeney. And so I tell you what, the one, that may be something that the coaching staff thought about. That, now can a team go 94 yards in a minute? Sure. Well, first of all, the punt took 13 seconds off the clock.
That's what I noticed was the 13 seconds. The Titan
because they never touched it.
They
just let it go.
Did a great job of taking time off the clock.
And, and it was one of those things where it took that Titan bounce and just kept rolling. And so now, Rockhurst, knowing that they're going to get the ball out, I don't see them going, way downfield and risking an interception, especially if they've seen any tapes of Brian Haney taking, pick sixes back. I would imagine they're just going to run the ball and see what happens. Leggio's standing on the goal line. They give it to him right up the middle. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he gets up to about the 19, 20-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 14. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. Again, the Hawklets have no timeouts, but they have stopped the clock for an injury as it's one of the linemen. I think that's Sprague who is down. And they have stopped the clock. In a college or an NFL game, this would have been a delay of game penalty because they don't have any timeouts.
Is that the new rule in college also?
I'm not totally sure. I know that there's that rule in the pros.
They do that 10-second runoff or whatever it is.
But it's not a 10-second runoff. It's just a delay of game penalty. Okay. But if you don't have a timeout and somebody gets injured, even a legitimate injury, it's not,
Well, I know that was the one thing they were working on with the college football was the faking the injury of falling down in the 2 minutes.
Right, because that's been happening. It was Sprague, and the good news is he's able to jog off the field under his own power. Now, they will put the ball in, the clock in motion once they get it set, but the Hawklets can get up to the line and get a quick playoff, so that did help them, although they're not in any big hurry, it doesn't look like. Hansen from the shotgun takes the snap. He'll look with time over the middle, and it is intercepted. Grauberger, he'll go toward the sideline. A good, smart play by Grauberger at the 22-yard line because the Titans now have a full 24 seconds and very good field position just outside the red zone, and that was what you didn't want to see happen if you're a Hawklet fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where the quarterback was looking because
I mean, right over the middle like that.
and just threw it right to
Well,
Groundhugger.
clearly he and the receiver were not on the. And I don't know who the receiver was because there wasn't. It was tough to tell based on where the ball was, but they weren't on the same page. A guy obviously went one way, and Hansen thought he was going somewhere else. But again, that was why you don't necessarily put it in the air. I was surprised that they did that. So
huge
Lee
opportunity for the road team here.
Yeah, absolutely. From the pistol formation and back to throw. Heil swings it out. It's Surratt. He'll cut inside toward the 15. He's hit and tackled as he gets to the 15 or maybe 16-yard line. The Titans will take timeout with 11 seconds left. That should be their last timeout.
It is.
So here's the question now. The ball's at the 16, second down. Not that that really matters at this point. 11 seconds on the clock. You have enough time to take a shot at the end zone. You have enough time to take a shot near the sideline. With 11 seconds, you figure a play is going to take a maximum of, say, 7-8 seconds. So you got plenty of time. The one thing you can't do is have somebody tackled inside the field of play. But the other thing you could do is just bring your field goal unit out and just kick the field goal now, or at least try it. Because the one thing that that could kill this is if there's a sack or something like that on the quarterback, because then there's no way to stop the clock in time. They go pistol. Heil back to throw. He's looking. He throws. And it's toward the end zone, and it is incomplete. And Heil lucky that was not picked off a second time, as that was a lot closer to the defender than it was. It was the same defender as O'Boyle was there, excuse me. And he had it in both hands and didn't manage to hang on to it, so they will get an opportunity for a field goal try. Looks like it's going to be from 32 yards. It's just inside the 33, so you might call it a 33. They'd probably call it 32 officially. Hannah, there was movement. Looked like an offside by the Hawklets, and that may give Grayson a better chance here. It is an offsides on Rockhurst, and that'll move the ball 5 yards closer to the 11. There's 6 seconds left on the clock. The ball's on the 11-yard line. Of course, you could have the possibility there of shooting for an end zone. At 6 seconds, there's no guarantee you'd be able to do it quickly enough.
Yeah,
that
that's
last play only took 5 seconds, though.
Yeah.
Hannah, ball will be put down at. And again.
Yeah, that was weird.
Now this time, I think it might have been on the Titans, though. So they may have traded 5 yards. And it is a false start against the Titans. Maybe it's just the center not snapping when he, So it's going to be back to a 33-yard field goal, looks like. Maybe Grayson said, I feel more comfortable out here.
I'm sure the kicker loves all these interruptions.
Yep. Abercrombie for the hold. This time the snap gets down. The kick is up. It is high. It is long. It is good. There is still 2 seconds left to go in the half. The Titans able to strike again. 3 points, a 33-yard field goal for Grayson Hannah. It is 10-0. We'll take a quick break, come back for the kickoff after this on Titan Football, presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Severino Field here in Rockhurst. Joel Becker and Mark Files. As the Hawklets now trailing the Titans 10-0. Rockhurst will get the ball to start the second half. I imagine this will be some version of a squib kick, as Hannah, who does not normally kick the kickoffs, he is their place kicker, but not usually their kickoff kicker, and he will squib it down the middle. It is taken by an up back at about the 19. It was Flood, and he gets it up to the 35, and he's tackled, and that will end the first half of play. The Titans get the only points. Rockhurst was able to move the ball some, and they were able to stop the Titans some as well, but there were basically two good drives for Lee Summit West that resulted in 10 points, and that's where we stand at halftime. We will take a break and come back. It is homecoming today here at Rockhurst High School, and we'll see if we can't at least bring you some of the homecoming festivities when we come back. This is high school football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
No matter what your goals are, competing at the next level, participating in a local 5K, or leading your team to state, the Sports Medicine Center at Children's Mercy is here to provide comprehensive 360-degree care for student athletes. Performance training, injury prevention, rehab services, nutrition, mental wellness, surgery, and more. It's not just about the next goal or the one after that. It's about supporting a lifetime of sport and helping every student athlete play healthy.
Fall is upon us, and so is the time to tune up that furnace. Don't miss the $49 special from Neil Harris Heating Service Experts. That's right, get your system tuned up for just $49, and you don't even have to be a Service Experts Advantage program member. Call 816-629-5343. That's 816-629-5343, or schedule online at any time at NeilHarrisServiceExperts.com. That's NeilHarrisServiceExperts.com, and get ready for winter today.
We are back here at Severino Field in Rockhurst, and we wanted to come back real quick and give you an opportunity to see some of the inductees into this year's Rockhurst class of the Hall of Fame. See what we can hear.
First team All-State linebacker. That's Jim Houston from the class of 1982. Up next on the list of 2020 Hall of Famers, Ted Brooks of the class of 1993. Ted still holds the single-season sack record for Rockhurst football, recording 15 quarterback sacks in 1991. Ted was named a first-team All-State defensive lineman. Ted Brooks of the class of 1993. Up next, Doug Albers of the great class of 1997. Doug was a two-time All-State medalist in golf, placing 5th in Missouri as a junior and 3rd in Missouri as a senior. He led the team to runner-up finishes both seasons. Again, Mr. Doug Albers of the class of 1997. Up next, John Osgood, also the great class of 1997. He was a tennis doubles state champion as a junior, followed by a singles runner-up as a senior. The Hawklets also won team titles in both years. Again, Mr. John Osgood, the great class of 1997. Up next, Mr. Aaron Clevenger, of the class of 2000. Aaron was a three-time All-State lacrosse player, as well as two-time All-American nominee. In the lacrosse record book, Aaron still stands as first in season and career assists and first in career points. Mr. Aaron Clevenger. Up next, also from the great class of 2000, Mr. Matt Jewett. Matt was a two-time All-State soccer player and two-time state champion, going 54-1-2 during his junior and senior years. In '99, Matt was named the Kansas City Area Player of the Year, Missouri Offensive Player of the Year, All-Midwest Player, and All-American nominee. Mr. Matt Jewett. Up next with the great class of 2002, Mr. John Mayberry Jr. One of the most decorated basketball and baseball Hawklets in school history. In baseball, he was the Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year and USA Today All-American before being selected in the first round of the Major League Draft. Mr. John Mayberry Jr. Up next from the great class of 2003, Mr. Will John. Will was the Missouri Soccer Gatorade Player of the Year, All-American, and also the most valuable player of the 2002 state playoffs. Will scored 36 goals his senior year, still standing as a program record. Mr. Will John. And last but certainly not least, in the class of 2020, Coach Chris Lawson. Coach Lawson led the soccer Hawklets from 1994 all the way through 2018, combining for a win-loss record of 553 wins, 151 losses, and 25 ties. During his 25 years, Rockhurst went to the Final Four 21 of those 25 years and won 7 state championships. Coach Lawson was named Missouri Coach of the Year 6 times and Regional Coach of the Year 4 times. Coach Chris Lawson. And now for our newest members of the Hall of Fame, the class of 2021. From the great class of 2001, Sam Davidson. Sam was instrumental in the tennis team winning 3 of its 10 consecutive state championships. He was double state champion as a sophomore, double state runner-up as a junior, and single state champ as a senior. Sam's postseason record was 36-1 for his Rockhurst career. Class of 2001, Mr. Sam Davidson. Also from the great class of 01, Sean O'Donnell. Sean ran only 1 season of cross country, but in that year, he led the Hawklets to their first state qualification in 16 years and placed 8th individually at the state finals. In track, he broke school records at the time in both the 800 and 1600, running 156 and 419 respectively. Again, Mr. Sean O'Donnell. Kevin Cady from the great class of 2002. He was a 2-time All-State linebacker for the football team, leading the Hawklets in tackles both seasons, combining for 239 tackles, while also leading the team in interceptions during the Rock's perfect 14-0 season in 2000. His senior year, Kevin won the Buck Buchanan Award given to the very best lineman or linebacker in Kansas City Again from the class of 02, Mr. Kevin Kane. Up next from the great class of 2002, Mr. Tim Reedy. Coach Reedy helped lead the lacrosse team in the state Final Four in 3 consecutive years, earning all-state honors, as well as being named the first U.S. Lacrosse Association All-American in Rock history. Tim is now entering his 11th year as the program's head coach and holds a lacrosse head coaching record of 130 wins against only 47 losses, including 3 LAKC championships and 2 U.S. Lacrosse Coach of the Year awards. Again, from the great class of 02, Mr. Tim Reedy. On next, from the class of 03, Mr. Dan Boyd. Dan was an absolute force on the offensive line for Rockhurst. He was named All-District, All-Metro, and First Team All-State in both his junior and senior years. With Dan as a starter on the offensive line, Rockhurst dominated, going 36-2 over 2 seasons, winning 2 state championships. Mr. Dan Boyd. Up next, the class of 03 as well, Mr. Kevin Sears. Kevin was a punishing tackler and linebacker for the Hawklets as a junior. Kevin recorded 71 tackles and 6 interceptions. Then as a senior, he led the Rock to a perfect 13-0 season, notching 122 tackles and 4 interceptions. He was named First Team All-State and was an All-American honorable mention. Of the class of 03 again, Mr. Kevin Sears. Up next from the great class of 2004, Mr. Tony Temple. Tony was the first freshman to ever play varsity football under Coach Severino, and is the only player to win All-Metro honors all 4 years of his high school career. His junior year, he rushed for over 2,000 yards and scored a Rockhurst record 35 TDs. For his career, Tony scored 79 touchdowns, rushed for over 5,300 yards, both records that still stand today. He was named an All-American running back his senior season and went on to play for Mizzou. Of the class of 04, Mr. Tony Temple. And although he's not here this evening, last but of course not least, he's attending his son's wedding, Coach John Morris, better known as Coach Mo around the Rock. Coach Mo, of the great class of 1974, has been a teacher and coach at Rockhurst since '84, and still coaches the offensive line and is an assistant basketball coach. He was also a track and field coach for 25 years. Collectively, Coach Mo has coached nearly 2,000 games and meets for the Rock. His JV basketball coaching record is astounding: 482 wins, only 120 losses. And his JV football coaching record is even better: 167-6, including a 71-game winning streak that spanned from '93 through 2004. Again, Coach Mo, John Morris, of the great class of 1974. Let's hear it for all of the 2 years of Hall of Famers here at Rockhurst.
That ended up being quite a treat as we get two years worth of inductions into the Hall of Fame, because I'm assuming last year with COVID they didn't have the ceremony, I imagine. And how about that? So, and no, it doesn't make me feel old at all to see all of these people being inducted in the Hall of Fame and hearing them say from the class of 2000 and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, my. I tell you what, though, this high school has seen a huge run of state champions, man.
No doubt, and so many different sports.
Oh.
All right, we are at halftime here at Rockhurst. The Hawklets trailing the Titans from Lee Summit West. 10-0 is our score. And when we come back, Mark Files will have some halftime numbers for you. And we'll take a look at the second half as well. This is high school football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's back to school time, and at Academy, your favorite brands are all in play. Like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Crocs, Puma, and the North Face. Bring on the fun and get out there. Whether you're playing for the home team or perfecting your game at home, at Academy, we'll bring the fun to you. Buy online and pick up curbside or in-store and get free shipping on orders over $25.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
810 Varsity takes you through the football season like never before. Watch games live throughout Kansas and Missouri and even postseason action at 810varsity.com. Plus live tournament brackets, top 25, Elite 81 All-Metro team, live scoreboard, stories, and more. Check out Kansas City's new home for high school sports coverage. 810varsity.com.
No matter what your goals are, competing at the next level, participating in a local 5K, or leading your team to state, the Sports Medicine Center at Children's Mercy is here to provide comprehensive 360-degree care for student athletes. Performance training, injury prevention, rehab services, nutrition, mental wellness, surgery, and more. It's not just about the next goal or the one after that. It's about supporting a lifetime of sport and helping every student athlete play healthy.
We are back at Rockhurst High School here in Kansas City, Missouri. Joel Becker along with Mark Files. The Rockhurst Hawklets, Lee Summit West Titans. Titans on top 10-0. We are at an extended halftime today with the induction of both the 2020 and 2021 class of the Rockhurst Hall of Fame. It's also a homecoming weekend here. And that's it seems like that's going to be a trend for a few weeks here.
It will
for the Titans. They've got they got to go to Blue Springs next week for their homecoming.
Are they at Blue Springs or they're at home?
They're at home.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's
it'll be 3 weeks in a row that they'll be involved in a homecoming game. Now, here's a stat that I stumbled across today.
Okay.
I'm talking with the coaching staff from Lee Summit West.
That's always Royce's favorite time.
Oh, he loved it. Yeah, he loved it. This is the first time since 2005 that the Titans have been a road opponent for the home team's homecoming.
Interesting. You know, that's worthy of note, though, because a lot of people don't know this. But, you know, there's only a certain amount of flexibility you have to schedule opponents as a football team. You know, coaches have – they certainly don't have a complete carte blanche on who they are going to play against. You have, you know, conference opponents that you have to play, and then you also have deals that are put together years in advance, home and home deals and so on and so forth. But the order that you play them in, there can be at least some negotiation and wheeling and dealing. And teams like to win their homecoming game, and so that is a definite consideration when a school is trying to figure out who to schedule for their homecoming game. They only have a list of so many teams that they have as teams they host. They make as much effort as they can to pick the team they think they have the best chance to beat.
And in Class 6, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck finding an opponent.
Well, that's what I was saying is that, you know, for those not familiar with the Titans' history as Lee Summit West, like I said, they've been around now for a while, but the first decade or so of their existence, first as a Class 4 team, then as a Class 5 team, they were a dominant team, and they, won 3 state titles, 2 and 5 and 1 and 4, and they were not a team that teams wanted to see for their homecoming game.
And I can remember going over and watching them play, and that first year they played with no seniors. And so there was a big learning curve for a lot of those kids on that team, and those freshmen, those sophomores, and the juniors. They put it together pretty quickly, and they played in that 2005 season. They played in the semifinals against Camden to go to the state championship, and they were one play away from making that happen.
Yeah, after going 0-7 to get there to districts.
Yes.
Back in the day when you had a 3-game district and you had to win your district.
That's right.
Not just the first 2.
And kudos to Coach Boehm, who was the first head coach of the football program. He and Coach Donahoe, as is the former coach, Coach Severino here at Rockhurst, they wanted to play the best. Mm-hmm. They wanted to beat the best. And so, that's why they lined up and they took on the bigger schools, because that's where they wanted to go. So that's what makes this matchup so fascinating to me is you've got the perennial power in Rockhurst.
Well, I was just going to say, all we just said about Lee Summit West, I guarantee you there aren't too many teams out there that are scheduling Rockhurst as their opponent on homecoming either.
Exactly.
I mean, any year.
No, that's exactly right. And I'll tell you what, it is fun to watch a Rockhurst program and the way they bring these kids together. And it is, they always have a winning record, or most of the time they have a 500 winning record.
I can't remember the last time they were.
And I can't either. And, the fact that they survived the COVID season as they did, they lost the playoff opportunity because kids getting sick, which happens.
Yeah.
And that's just part of the history now. But, it's all about putting the pieces together and getting the kids to play as a team and buy into the program. Quick stats here.
Yeah, I was going to say, give us some numbers before we get started with half number 2.
Total offense, Lee Summit West has 121 yards on 30 plays. Rockhurst has 62 yards on 22 plays. The Titans are averaging 4 yards per play. Rockhurst is averaging 2.8 yards per play. Now, something to keep in mind, third down conversions. Titans are 3 for 6. And Rockhurst is 1 for 6, and that kind of is the tell of the tale here with the ball game the way it's gone. It's been a defensive battle here in the first half, and we'll see how the teams make adjustments. And don't be surprised to see 1 or 2 of those trick plays from Coach Donahoe.
Wouldn't be surprised at all. What's the turnover situation? I know
1 apiece. Both of them on interceptions.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that both teams had a pick, but I couldn't think of anything else. It hasn't been much of a factor so far tonight. All right, teams are back on the field, and we're just about set to go for the second half of play. It's Rockhurst and Lee Summit West, the Titans with the 10-0 lead. Back with the second half coming up after this on high school football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Fall is upon us, and so is the time to tune up that furnace. Don't miss the $49 special from Neil Harris Heating Service Experts. That's right, get your system tuned up for just $49, and you don't even have to be a Service Experts Advantage program member. Call 816-629-5343. That's 816-629-5343, or schedule online at any time at NeilHarrisServiceExperts.com. That's NeilHarrisServiceExperts.com, and get ready for winter today.
We are back live here at Severino Field at Rockhurst. Joel Becker along with Mark Files. Rockhurst and Lee Summit West with the Hawklets trailing the Titans 10-0. They won the opening toss and deferred, so Rockhurst gets the ball here to start things off. as we do have Selby with the ball teed up right in the middle of the field at the 40-yard line. They've been short kicks so far, and it's another high, relatively short kick coming down about the 15. And O'Boyle comes across the 30, 35, and carrying a pile up to about the 39. Another good run. And there have been some pretty good special teams run backs there by O'Boyle in particular, but really the whole Hawklet special teams crew. This is a big series, I think, for the Hawklets here coming out in the second half, trailing 10-0. You'd like to certainly keep this good field position situation on their own 40 or 39, I should say. But in best case scenario, you get some points on the boards. And it'll be the give off of right tackle for Leggio. A good run on first down, picks up 9 yards. It'll be second and 1 from the 48.
Okay, I'm going to bring a name out of the past, make you feel old.
Okay, doesn't take much.
Kenyon Rashid played at Oklahoma, then played for the Giants. That's what Leggio reminds me of tonight.
Thought you were going to pick out some Staley players. I formation on second and 1. Leggio is the deep back. From under center, on play action, back to throw, with time throwing down the far sideline, incomplete. The intended receiver, Koch, and he overthrew him by about 5 yards. But not a bad idea to take a shot there on second and 1, especially when you've got a guy like Leggio in the backfield where you figure you can get a yard. Although, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. The numbers you gave out, obviously the Titans with a bit of an advantage offensively. Is that because the Titans offense is doing better, or is it because the Titans defense is playing a stronger game right now than the Rockhurst defense?
I think it's a combination of both. I think the Titans have done a little better with their ball control, mixing it up, and keeping the defense off the field. So I think they're working together.
Leggio on the carry, and they do hit him right at the line. It's going to be close. From where the official is running out, it looked like he's a little short.
From the far sideline where the sticks are, right?
But you never know where they actually put the ball down. It is short by about a half a yard, maybe a little less. Doesn't look like they're going to even bother measuring it and go fourth down, and it looks to me like the Hawklets right at near midfield aren't going to hesitate and go for it. They are going to go and measure this.
Yeah, that's definitely close enough for a measurement.
Well, it is. Although, eyeballing it does look short. But if I'm the Hawklets, I'm going to want a measurement, just if for no other reason to know how far I've got to go, and also it gives me an extra 45 seconds to a minute to figure out what I want to do. Yeah. And they are short, like I said, by about a half a yard.
Seeing that I formation, the old traditional running formation, man.
If it were me, I'd put Leggio in the fullback position and
let
give
him
it to
hit
him. Yeah. But they were successful with that. You could do a quarterback sneak here, or you could just do a standard, give it to the second man through, and good luck stopping us twice.
Can you imagine seeing Leggio coming over the top of the line from that I-back formation?
He is the deep back in this formation. It is a quarterback sneak. He pushes forward, but I don't know. I don't want to be cliche here, but it will depend a lot on the spot. They're probably going to measure this, although I don't know. The Rockhurst is saying first down. It looks to me like he got a relatively generous spot. But it also looks to me like he got a first down. And they're picking a flag up. There was a flag down. And they call it a first down.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird in terms of, I don't know what the original flag was for that they picked up. Now, you could probably hear in background audio there were some fans who would have liked to have seen an offsides call.
Right.
It wasn't called. But the practical upshot is it's 1st and 10 from their own 49 for the Hawklets. And here's Leggio off a right tackle. He lost the football, Titans say they have it, waiting for the officials to confirm it. Let's see. There is a flag down, by the way, also, so let's see what happens, and it's Titan football. Lee Summit West comes up. Leggio had it knocked out. We'll check the flag. It's in a situation where normally is holding. And if that is, in fact, the case, there. And based on everything, I don't even know if there was a flag. I thought there was, but there's no indication that there's any penalty. So
they may have dropped that flag accidentally as the marker for where the ball was dropped.
Could have been. Instead of the beanbag, he accidentally pulled the flag out. Or it may have just dropped out of his pants when he pulled the beanbag out. I don't know. So Lee Summit West gets the ball on the turnover, first time in the second half, leading 10-0. It's Surratt going off right tackle. He gets a hole. He was hit as he got to around the 40 down to the 38 of the Hawklets. Jackson Surratt with a pretty good run on first down of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8, and the Titans will certainly love to put a little nail in the coffin. It's early on in the half, but if you can get a 3-score lead, that puts Rockhurst really behind the 8 ball here.
That it will. So it's a big drive here for the Rockhurst defense to see if they can't get the stop.
Twins on the left. It is out of the pistol, and it's Surratt, and he will get a first down. Needed to get to the 36. Sure looked like he did. Now that I'm seeing where they're putting the ball down, it may actually be close. I think he's going to be short by a half a yard, so it'll be 3rd down.
Nice job by both sets of running backs on both teams of keeping the leg drive going. It's impressive to see them keep hitting people, bouncing off and of them, and working forward to get those tough yards.
Direct snap, and it went. Interestingly, this is the first time we've seen this Chase Hammond getting a direct snap. He is normally a safety on the defensive side, but he'll get a first down. Needed to get to the 36, got to about the 34, so a pickup of 2, maybe 3.
You know, we may have saw that in the first half and just didn't recognize the 22 and thought it was 23 doing it.
I don't think so, because they brought a new package of players in for that play, yeah.
It's that new jumbo package, whatever they call it, right?
Something to that effect, anyway. They get their standard offense out for this play. They go pistol with Mayo behind Heil in the backfield, and they give to Mayo right up the middle. He was hit as he got to the line. No gain on the play. Oh, and Mayo is slow in getting up. He was knocked down a little bit late on the play, and he looks a little shaky. He does get up, and he's walking off under his own power. But tell you what, the Lee Summit West faithful not too happy with the lack of a call. But I don't think it did.
I mean, look how far they drove him back, and it was no gain on the play.
No. On the other hand, I didn't think they did anything wrong. They stopped his
forward motion.
And it's not like they, heard the whistle and clearly then threw him to the ground. He did get thrown to the ground, but it was just part of the play.
Well, and Mayo was still fighting for yards, too. Yeah. So,
Titans are going to take a timeout here. This is kind of similar to what we saw in the first half with Rockhurst. 7:40 to go here in the third quarter. Titans on top 10-0, and they're going to take a timeout here on 2nd down and 10. But I got to wonder in this case. Now, in the Rockhurst case, it seemed like they just weren't necessarily on the same page exactly in terms of getting the play in and everybody knowing what to do, and so they've had to burn some timeouts in the early part of the first half. In this play, I'm not so sure that it wasn't the Titans coaching staff upset about the Mayo situation, or perhaps thinking that because he was injured and slow in getting up that the 25-second, that they would switch it from a 40 to a 25-second clock after he got off the field, but they didn't do it and then ran out of time.
Yeah, and sometimes you do not want to compound a bad play for a 5-yard delay game.
Hines in to take this snap. He's got 4 receivers on the right side. We'll see if he follows them perhaps on a sweep. He's actually looking to throws over the middle. It's incomplete. He was looking for Ford, who has been kind of the favorite target in the game today. Wow. The Titans have, it's a big loss not having Brock Coble out there as far as the receiving corps is concerned, but, with Dickerson They targeted Miller once, and that pass was intercepted.
Yeah, and Hines threw it to the guy that was covered the most.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the first receiver in the formation, sitting right in front of the middle linebacker and the outside linebacker, and really didn't have much of a chance of making that completion.
Titans may be in 4-down territory here with the ball on the 34. Pistol formation, and they will fake it to Surratt, and Heil throws it and almost intercepted. Boy, I tell you what, again, it was intended for Ford, and trying to step up on the play was Giangreco, and he really, really well did he anticipate what was going to happen, because, honestly, Heil was kind of giving it away. He was telegraphing what he was going to do, but he was trying to wait, and then jump up, and he just didn't quite get there in time.
I don't think there's anything harder for a high school quarterback of turning his back away from the field and then trying to reconnect and get through his progressions on his reads on where the open receivers are.
So the Titans unable to take advantage of the turnover situation. They will try and get a good they were going to try and see if they could get another good field position situation, but it goes into the end zone. And I tell you what, Orion Bowers had an opportunity there to keep that in and didn't do it because he waited too long before he tried to slap the ball back. And by the time he did, he was so close to the line, he couldn't do it.
I know.
Was that Betty White?
No, it was not. That was our former
that was a
intern.
Snickers reference.
I know it was. That was our former intern, now team manager, Ethan Gray.
Yeah.
Getting into my Snicker bag.
So, 1st and 10 from their own 20 for the Hawklets. They trail it 10-0. 7:23 to go, third quarter. From the shotgun, it is a give off right tackle once again to Leggio. Good running on first down, gets a first down, pickup of 11 to the 31. 1st and 10 for the Hawklets.
Like that call by Donahoe, giving the ball back to Leggio and getting that confidence back after the fumble on the previous play.
I didn't really see how it happened. I think it actually happened similar to what the Chiefs were experiencing, where somebody came up from behind and kind of put a helmet. Put a helmet on the back of the ball, where Leggio didn't know that he was coming. He'll get a call here. Big hole on the left side, trying to work toward the sideline, and was knocked down eventually. Ely was able to get him down. Bowers over there kind of swam through. And a great run there from Leggio. He'll get from the 31 to the 49, a pickup of 18. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hawklets, just on their own side of midfield.
Leggio has that dangerous combination, size and speed. And when he gets outside the numbers, look out.
That was a well-designed play for one of the few times here in this game in terms of really finding a place where the Titans defense wasn't. As Leggio goes over the middle this time. 6-yard gain to the 45 of the Titans into Lee Summit West territory. It'll be 2nd and 4 from there. Clock running with 6:15 left to go.
What do we call this at halftime? Ground and pound?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at.
No question, and it's exactly what Rockhurst needed. Again, needs to move the ball down the field, get some points, and get into this game. Trailing 10-0. From the I formation, give to Leggio as the first man through, and he breaks a tackle down the middle of the field, inside the 20, down to about the 16. As Leggio that time with a big hole right up the middle and running through tackles as well.
That's what we talked about, Joel, in the first half. Watch Leggio as he gets more comfortable into the second half. He gets stronger. The Titans' defense gets tired, and he becomes a load to bring down, and hence he's had several big runs on this drive alone.
He certainly was at that, a load to bring down, difficult. As Joe Leggio has been the workhorse this drive anyway. He is the deep back in the offset eye. They'll give it to him again off left tackle, looking for a hole. He was slowed up by McGrew and then finished off by Sweeney, but not before he's able to pick up about 4. It'll be 2nd out and 6 in the red zone for the Hawklets. I think this is the first time they've been in the red zone all game.
It is. McGrew had the right idea going low. Problem is he just went a little too low and went after ankles instead of the thighs above the knee.
Ball's at the 12-yard line, second down. About 6. They go shotgun this time with Leggio to the left, and it's going to be Hansen on the keeper trying to get on the sweep, and he'll run out of bounds at about the 10. A Titan player a little slow in getting up. That's Ely. He's hanging on to his wrist or something, like he took a little contusion off the forearm or something. But he stays in the game.
The Hawklets were fortunate there. I think Leggio was kind of leaning into that play and didn't really come completely set before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, they definitely could have gotten an illegal shift call. Third down, back to the I formation. Hansen under center. Takes the snap, and it's a toss. Leggio trying to go around left side to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Hawklets. Joe Leggio from 10 yards out. And Rockhurst on the board, 10-6. Extra points still to come with 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Nice run, nice sweep. Hawklets did a great job of setting that wall for Leggio to work his way up the field and get to the end zone. He did a nice job of getting past the last 2 defenders of the Titans right at the pylon for the score.
This is the offensive drive they've been wanting to have all game. Bush for the extra point. Snap back, ball down, kick up, high, long, and it is good. 4:33 to go here in the third quarter. Hawklets finally on the scoreboard. They, though, trail it 10-7 to Lee Summit West. We'll take a break, come back for the kickoff after this on high school football. A presentation of Back Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Don't trust the biggest investment of your life to a part-time real estate agent. Trust the #1 real estate team in Kansas and Missouri, the Rob Ellerman team at Reese Nichols. With over 90 agents and 5 offices across the metro, they'll match you up with the perfect agent to get you moving with confidence. They cover the entire metro area, from Lee Summit to the Northland to Johnson County. They also have offices in Des Moines and Springfield, Missouri, and Destin, Florida, if you know of someone looking to move. The Rob Ellerman team truly is your real estate resource. Call anytime at 816-304-4434 or visit therobellermanteam.com. The Rob Ellerman team, a proud supporter of Kansas City Metro High School athletics.
Welcome back out to Rockhurst High School here in Kansas City, Missouri. Joel Becker, Mark Files, Hawklets, and Lee Summit West Titans. Rockhurst trailing 10-7, but you really feel like the momentum has shifted in this game. The Titans, after a turnover, had great field position and the ability to go down and really take command of the game. They were unable to do so. Ended up having to punt the ball away from the other team's 34-yard line. And Rockhurst turns around and with their first really strong, sustained drive on offense have made it a 3-point game with plenty of time still left in the third quarter.
Yeah, this has been the Titans' MO the last 2 weeks, have not been able to finish. And you're right, there is a big momentum swing. Let's see if they can answer.
Squib kick, and it was taken by Surratt at the 25. As an up man, he'll get across the 40 to the 41. Still very good field position for the Titans, although that didn't help them the last time around, as they were able to get great field position after a Leggio fumble and went nowhere with it, as it turned out.
Well, here we go. This is a pivotal drive, easy for me to say, for both the Hawklets and the Titans. If the defense can hold, that'll keep that momentum going and get them in the catbird seat here, being able to take a lead with another score.
Well, the other thing you mentioned, too, is that Leggio, being the workhorse in that particular drive, also a very big load to try and get down. What you want, if you're the Titans, is a relatively sustained drive here one way or another. As it is Hines on the keeper. He went to make the toss, but I don't think Ford was even expecting it. And he was caught in the backfield and taken down for a big loss. Pretty good penetration from Middleton, but, nobody was there blocking him. And Hines, really in that situation needed to just head upfield.
Yeah, there's a lot of indecision.
Quick snap, and again, Hines with the attempt on the quarterback draw has nowhere to go. And we get whistles. There is an injured player. It is a Rockhurst player. Is there a flag down as well? Yeah, it is an illegal. I think they're calling this a false start.
Before the play? Or,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if it was an illegal formation or something like that, then they wouldn't be able. They wouldn't be able to. They could have just declined it.
Sure.
I don't think they can now. Like I said, there is a Rockhurst player injured on the far side of the field. Definitely slow in getting up, but making his way under his own power. Definitely favoring a shoulder or something. And it is the nose tackle, Thorpe. Perry Thorpe in a certain amount of pain, obviously, as he comes to the. So they were able to decline the penalty.
Okay.
So it must have been nothing. It must have not been a false start, and instead an illegal formation or something like that. They did come out real quick,
right.
And so they may not have covered everybody up or whatever. So it'll be third down and about 15 or so. Heil back to throw with time, but gets a rush, throws, and incomplete. I can't tell you who he was going for because that was in the between where Miller was in the general vicinity and might have been who he was trying. It was either an overthrow of Miller or an underthrow of Ford. And so the Titans, this is again the momentum clearly shifting toward the Hawklets, and this is exactly what Rockhurst wanted to see, a 3-and-out, getting the ball right back.
Yeah, that Titan offense is not playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Well, they've kind of gone away with from what was working for them, as Sweeney's punt takes a bounce and will go out of bounds at about the 24. And that's where Rockhurst will take over. So, despite having very good field position and, in a position, again, like I said, what has worked for the Titans? Well, running between the tackles, between the guards, and a steady dose of Jackson Surratt, and he didn't touch the ball on that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, as far as the Titan offense goes, I know what the coaches are thinking. They're thinking we got to throw it a little bit to loosen up and move those safeties back so you got some running lanes. But here we're doing pretty well without throwing the ball previously.
So the Hawklets with an opportunity here to tie or take the lead from their own 24. It's Leggio running around right tackle, who's caught from behind this time and able to pick up a couple across the 25 to the 27. It'll be a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. Tell you what, if you're the Titans, you're probably saying that's a good formula. Get him from behind.
Yes.
Because when he's coming at you, it hurts a lot more.
Is that Wood that was chasing him down from behind?
I couldn't tell. There was too many players in between.
Something. I don't know. I think it was 96, but
it might have been.
It was a great pursuit by the offensive lineman, if that's who it was.
Yeah. Titans going with 3 down linemen. On 2nd down, it is a keeper, Hansen, and great penetration by the Titans. 3. Dooley came in, was the first one to really break it up, and he had some help as Swan in the backfield along with him. And that was a loss of about 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 24.
Yeah, that play didn't go anywhere. It was
no.
The execution just wasn't there.
I mean, it looked like they were setting up a quarterback keeper. If they were, on the other hand, trying to set up like a screen.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was thinking they were trying to do, or a little wheel route to the outside.
He just never had a chance to do anything with it. Here he is rolling right side again with pressure. He eludes one guy, throws over the middle. It's caught, and a first down up near midfield. Grauberger on the tackle, Cook with a catch up to the 46 of Rockhurst. And, that was a great play by Hansen eluding the rush. The Titans had an opportunity to break that play up but couldn't do it in the backfield.
Yeah, and Hansen got out in the open field. He could evaluate where the receivers are. All the receivers are running the cross routes of coming across the field to the sidelines. Nice execution set up by the Hawklets.
1st and 10 Rockhurst, and we get think we may be getting a timeout. Either that or we're getting a flag for 12 men on the field, one of the two.
Hawklets have 12 guys inside the hash marks.
Well, you saw somebody coming off, and there is
Right.
a flag down. I'm pretty sure it's going to be, and like I said, unless they called a timeout or were granted one.
Yeah, Coach Donahoe was trying to get an explanation and not listening.
Let's see what the indication is from the official. The only other thing that may be is that the guy that was running off the field may have actually been not the 12th man but the 11th and ran off either by mistake or was intending to have somebody come on afterwards. Let's see what the call is. It is 12 men on the field against the Hawklets, so again, I guess they didn't buy whatever story that was fed to them, and so that'll cost them 5 yards. And it will remain first down, I guess, and first and about 15 from the 41.
That's always interesting on that illegal substitution or 12 men on the field.
Yeah.
How they determine when to call it.
Couldn't tell you. I formation, give to Leggio. First man through, huge hole right up the middle, and he's able to elude most of McGrew, but he trips him up, saves the touchdown, but still about a 30-yard run or so for Leggio, who just had a gaping hole up the middle. They have found a formula that works against this Titan front three.
Okay, now I'm asking, what was Leggio seeing that we didn't see? And he ran right at McGrew. I guess he was trying to get to the numbers so he could get upfield, but it sure looked like it was going to be a foot race. All he had to do was just keep running for the goalpost.
Well, that's what I think he didn't think he could beat him, and he tried to cut, one way, and he actually almost did break through the tackle. Offset eye this time. Leggio trying to go up the middle. He breaks it to the right side, this time hit and tackled as he gets to the 30 down to the 29. It'll be a gain of 1, second down and 9 from there. Looked like it was Jones and Hammond in the area to knock him down.
Yeah, if I'm in the running backs rooms with him on Monday when they're watching film, I'm going to be clicking that back and forth saying, young man, you're big, you're fast, punish that defensive back trying to stop you.
I formation with Leggio as the deep man. He'll get it as the second man through up the middle. Again, this time the Titans able to swarm around him.
Well, they really slow played that one, didn't they?
Yeah. And no gain on the play, so it'll be third down and 9. And maybe they gave him a yard to the 28, so let's call it 3rd and 8. Could be the last play of the third quarter. There's 10 seconds left as they come out of the huddle here. They could run another play. We'll see if they try. Hansen, I think he was just looking for an offsides, didn't get one. And that's going to do it for the third quarter of play. And it was all Rockhurst in the quarter, but the Titans still maintain a lead. 12 minutes of football left to go. Can the Rockhurst Hawklets maintain their momentum and get themselves their first lead in this game? They trail it 10-7 here on high school football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's back to school time, and at Academy, your favorite brands are all in play. Like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Crocs, Puma, and the North Face. Bring on the fun and get out there. Whether you're playing for the home team or perfecting your game at home, at Academy, we'll bring the fun to you. Buy online and pick up curbside or in-store and get free shipping on orders over $25.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
We are back live here at Severino Field in Rockhurst. Joel Becker and Mark Files. Hawklets trailing the Lee Summit West Titans 10-7 as we get started here in the fourth quarter of play, but it has been all Hawklets in the second half. They have had a couple of pretty good sustained drives and threatening here. 3rd down and 8 from the Titan 28. They need the 20, obviously. Big play here, probably in 4-down territory, depending on whether or not they think they've got the leg. At this point, it'd be about a 46-yard field goal, 45, 46 yards. But we'll see what they do here on 3rd and 8. Leggio, who has been their workhorse in the second half, is the second man deep in the I formation. Hansen under center. And on play action, rolls to the left side. He's got running room. Instead, he throws. He's got a man, Koch, into the end zone. Touchdown. From 28 yards out, Hansen to Koch, and for the first time in the game, the Hawklets with the lead, 13-10 with the extra point to come.
That was a nice pass. Haney, the defensive back for the Titans, basically bit on the fake and was playing the run. Got too much separation from Koch, and Koch got to the end zone, made the catch for the TD.
Big extra point here to make it a 4-point lead. Bush out. First play of the fourth quarter, and the Hawklets get their first lead. Snap back, ball down, kick up, high, long, good. 11:53 left to go in regulation time. The Hawklets on top, 14-10. Kickoff coming up after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Ackport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Fall is upon us, and so is the time to tune up that furnace. Don't miss the $49 special from Neil Harris Heating Service Experts. That's right, get your system tuned up for just $49, and you don't even have to be a Service Experts Advantage program member. Call 816-629-5343. That's 816-629-5343, or schedule online at any time at neilharrisserviceexperts.com. That's neilharrisserviceexperts.com, and get ready for winter today.
We are back at Rockhurst High School in Kansas City, Missouri. Joel Becker along with Mark Files as the Hawklets with their first lead, 14-10 over the Titans from Lee Summit West. Just underway here in the fourth quarter, and the Titans really need to see their offense get untracked here in the second half. It's, you know, they had a couple of pretty strong drives in the first half, but really in just over 12 minutes plus of football, have not seen a whole lot of success in the second half so far.
They really haven't, and I'll tell you what, it's that attitude right now. You know, Rockhurst came out and they said, you know what, this is homecoming, boys. This is our field. We got to defend our honor, and the Titans just have not answered.
Even with as the ball gets blown off the tee, by the way, even with great field position on several of their drives this quarter, they just have not been able to get anything going offensively.
Rockhurst 235 yards in total offense. Lee Summit West 128. That tells you how much time the
it's like nothing
Hawklets had the ball.
That's like nothing in the second half for Lee Summit West. Squib kick, and it'll come to a back man at about the 15. It's Hines, I believe, and he gets up to the 30. Lost the football. Who has it? Hawklets say they do. The officials haven't said anything yet. And the officials disagree with the Hawklets, and so it'll stay Titan football from their own 29. Boy, a big bullet to dodge there for Lee Summit West. That would have possibly been a killer if they would have given up the football right after giving up the lead. But on the other hand, a 3 and out doesn't make much difference if they can't get their offense going.
That's right.
And I tell you what, you also got to give a certain amount of credit to the Hawklet defense for stepping up things in the second half, because
well, that's one of the things that Coach Hoder's very good at is making halftime adjustments, man. You may get him in the first half, but I guarantee you the last 2 quarters, he'll be on top of his game.
Split backs with Hines taking the direct snap, and it is Hines keeping it, and he's hitting the backfield and thrown down for a loss, and there's going to be a flag on that one, as that's the second time that a Titan player has been hurt after being thrown to the turf by a Hawklet defender after his forward progress had been stopped. This time they flag it, It'll be a 15-yard penalty. That may not actually be enough to give them a 1st and 10. We'll see where they mark it from. Tell you what, the fans not very happy with the call.
And see where they're marking it from, where the forward progress was stopped was from the, what was that, the 27?
27 or so. So that will be a 1st and 10 for the Titans up to the 42. But, it's interesting because really that was a bad decision by Hines that led to him getting, he should have handed it off to Surratt. Kept it himself even though there was somebody right in his face. Heil gives it to Surratt this time, and he's able to get positive yardage. And this time, the whistles blow and everybody kind of stops. I guess lesson learned. Surratt gets up to the 45, a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7.
And a little quicker whistle, I do believe, too, if I heard that a little.
I agree. That can always be frustrating for a team when a officiating crew seems to be letting them play and then penalizing them for playing. It'll be Surratt up the middle this time, another 5 yards to midfield as he hit that hole in a hurry. Was knocked down, a little bit of a slow getting up that time by Williams from the Hawklets off the defensive end. That'll be 3rd down and 2. Big 3rd down play here.
Both teams seem to be really successful when they do the quick hitters.
And it is, again, a direct snap to Chase Hammond, and he'll get that 1st down. As, like you said, they went to that jumbo package. We've seen it a couple of times in this game with Hammond taking a direct snap. He's normally a safety with 3, roughly linebackers as the quote-unquote running backs on the right side. And they do move the chains 1st and 10. They keep this same formation. And this time Hammond right side is looking for running room, and he'll get to maybe the 48 before his momentum is stopped. And again, you get the whistles.
48 or 43? Yeah, they're inside
43,
the
yes. Excuse me. So still a pickup of about 3, 2nd down and 7. Under 10 minutes left to go in regulation time. Hawklets hanging on to a 14-10 lead. Titans trying to get their offense going. Heil from the pistol gives it to Surratt. Big hole. And they close it in a hurry, but not before Jackson Surratt gets up to the 38. It'll be a pickup of 5 and set up a 3rd down and short. 3rd and about 2. Titans kind of going hurry up here. And they give it to Surratt, looking for room on the left side. Cuts up, gets a 1st down inside the 35. And that'll move the chains, despite about 4 or 5 holding calls from the stands. I don't know if you could hear them, but I could.
I don't know about the holding, but I will say that was a nice cut by Surratt and made something out of nothing there and got good yards on that down play.
So 1st and 10 Titans for the first time in the second half moving the football a little bit here. Still outside of field goal range, and of course they're down by 4 anyway. They're going to go to Hines again for the direct snap with an empty backfield, and we get whistles.
Yeah,
he dropped the snap, but there's going to be like a false start or something called here. He was able to pick the snap up after he dropped it, but the play was whistled dead anyway.
Doesn't look like the team was ready, but the center was.
Yeah. Well, and for whatever reason, the Titans have not seemed like they are firing on all cylinders as well with that Wildcat offense as they have been with a quarterback back there. I don't know if that's worthy of note or not.
Well, I'm
talking about in the second half.
You've got 2 different guys calling the snap count. Actually 3 when you put Hammond in there. And so, there is a little bit of difference to that cadence, and your linemen get used to hearing a cadence.
So they go pistol with Hines, and they give it to Mayo, and he's met in the backfield. Good penetration that time by Willis. Big number 99 getting himself into the backfield, and he was basically ready to shake Mayo's hand as soon as he got the football.
Yeah,
it'll be a loss.
That's inexperience from another young quarterback there. Just,
well, again, Hines again. In the last time we were talking about him, he shouldn't have handed it off. This time he should have handed it off. This time he shouldn't have. Because Mayo had no chance. Heil will set up a swing pass to Surratt. Can he get going? No. That was sniffed out pretty well. They were trying to set up a swing screen to Surratt, but again, the Titans have been going backwards this particular series. It'll be third down. They had a penalty, and then they had two straight negative plays. Could be in 4-down territory again, but it's third down and like 18 or so. The ball is around the 42. They need to get to the 23, so it is 3rd and 19. Empty backfield for Heil. He's got 4 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. He's looking right. He will throw right. He is trying to send it down the sideline, incomplete. It's good coverage over there as he was looking for Dickerson, and O'Boyle was in a better position to make the catch, but it was an overthrown ball anyway.
Yeah, that was not a confident throw by the Titans quarterback. He basically threw it up, and if it had been intercepted by Boyle, it'd been like a punt, but Boyle was smart. Even though he was out of bounds, I think he was thinking knock it down and make him kick it.
And that would seem like it's what they're going to do here. We're going to get a whistle for a equipment issue, it looks like, for the return man from the Hawklets. Some sort of a strap problem with his helmet, it looks like.
Or a contact lens problem.
For Bailey, perhaps. I don't know. So Flood's going to go out to take this, to return this punt. Sweeney standing at his own 44. Remember, the Titans were 1st and 10 from the 33 at one point in this drive. 33 of the Rockhurst Hawklets. They're punting it from their own side of the 50-yard line. Sweeney a punt back into the end zone. He basically just kicked that right in. It's a good decision from Flood to let it go. And with 6:59 left to go, the Hawklets will start from their own 20. So it was promising for a little while there for Lee Summit West, but when all is said and done, they are now trailing in the game, handing the ball back to the other team.
I'll give you 3 guesses. Who's going to get the ball on first down?
Christian Okoye.
Getting close. The player has a 3 in his jersey number, that is for sure.
And he has a little size to him as well. Hansen from the shotgun gives it to Leggio. He breaks a tackle and stays on his feet at the 25, but doesn't get any much farther. Maybe another yard, so let's give him 6, 2nd and 4. Clock running with 6:40 left to go.
Ball control.
Yeah.
What it's all about. Handle the ball in the backfield and let Leggio just burn the clock and just beat on the Titans.
Yeah. Titans, just defensively, what they need is a stop. I mean, they don't have to stop them right on this series or anything like that. They can't allow any more points. And it'd be nice to get good field position, but we'll see. They go out of the I formation. It's a toss sweep. Leggio trying to get around the end. There is a flag down. This one's coming back. Good tackle in the open field there. I think it was Ely, but this one would seem to be coming back. A hold would be presumably what we're going to see called, although they are huddling up for a discussion.
I wonder if it's not on a defender.
It is a face mask against the Titans. Must have been not on the ball carrier, but on the blocker.
Blocker, yeah. Trying to shed the blocker.
Yeah. So that should actually just add 5 yards to the end of the run.
If it's the 5 yard
it is.
variety.
Well, at least that was his indication, it was the 5 yard variety. And so that's going to move the ball up to the 45. And 1st and 10 for Rockhurst. So very briefly, the Titans seem to be moving the momentum pendulum back their direction, but that has swung back again. as they are now the defense. The Titans defense playing very well, shut out the Hawklets in the first half, but they have been vulnerable here in this second half, certainly to the legs of Joe Leggio. He is the up back on this one and gets the call up the middle. This time the Titans sniff it out and stop him before he's able to get going too much, as Woods right in the middle able to knock him down. 2nd down and 9.
The great thing about these Rockhurst teams is that they are very disciplined, and they will lull you to sleep with the running game and then hit that play action pass, and that's their MO. I mean, they just do a nice job week in and week out, and you have to play assignment football when you're competing against the Rockhurst Hawklets.
3 down linemen for the Titans, and it off of play action is going to be Hansen around the left side, down the far sideline. He is inside the 20, forced out of bounds. We'll see where they say he stepped out at about the 18, 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Hawklets. The best run that wasn't by a guy wearing 33 of the game, I would say, for Rockhurst as the quarterback on the keeper.
Nice job by Hansen. He kept his options open on the bootleg RPO and got himself into a position where he was able to make a big play.
It was just like you were calling in terms on play action. He didn't end up throwing the ball, but he certainly got the defense out of whack. They weren't anywhere in any position to make a play on him.
Well, I mean, they were all looking for 33.
He will get the ball this time, though, and it'll be off a left tackle. Falls forward as he got inside the 15 down to about the 12. But I think they're going to call him down at the 14. No, they gave him just past the 13, shy of the 12. It'll be 2nd down, maybe a long 5 from there.
Well, and that's the huge difference here in the second half is Leggio's falling forward instead of being stalemated and falling backwards. So, he is wearing out this Titan defense.
It would seem so. I formation. Under center, Hansen. It'll be a give. Leggio trying to get around the right side. He breaks a tackle. Stiff arm inside the 10. Down to about the 9. It'll be just shy of a 1st down. 3rd down and short, maybe a yard. And that was a play that could have gone for nothing. And instead, Leggio just basically, like you said, showing the fatigue level for the Titans, unable to knock him down like they were in the first quarter, or the first half, I should say.
Oh, Graubarger, 15 for the Titans, jumped on the back and was like he was at Lee Summit Oktoberfest riding the ponies.
I formation on 3rd and 1. See what the Titans do here. They toss it. Leggio right side. He'll get a 1st down. Down to about the 6-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Hawklets. Titans certainly don't want to give up a touchdown here and fall down by more than 1 score. If they could survive with a field goal, they would still be at least within a touchdown. But, we're down to 3:20 and counting.
Now, I don't want to give Leggio too much credit, but it sure looked like he knew he got the 1st down and went ahead and went down to keep that clock running instead of, protecting the football and getting himself possibly hurt or even fumbling.
High formation, toss Leggio right side, and he dives toward the pylon, but they say he stepped out of bounds. He did hit the pylon.
Yep.
But they say he stepped out of bounds at the 2-yard line, which will also stop the clock with 3:04 left to go, set up a 2nd and goal from the 2.
That is a tough running back out there tonight.
How many carries is that for him now?
Oh, my.
2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
Here comes another one.
Yeah.
From under center, up the middle, Leggio to the 2, to the 1, touchdown.
That's his 30th attempt. Give him 204 yards on the night.
Wow. Joe Leggio from 2 yards out. And the Hawklets extend their lead to 10 points with the extra point to come. They can make it a 2-touchdown lead. That is to say, I guess you can get the 8 points in the field goal to catch up if they can make this extra point, but they would need it just to tie, and there's only 3 minutes left to go. Extra point, snap back, ball down, kick up, high, long, good. 2:59 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Hawklets on top, 21-10. Kickoff coming up after this on high school football here. A presentation of Back Porch Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Severino Field here at Rockhurst High School. Joel Becker and Mark Files as the Rockhurst Hawklets with a relatively commanding 11-point lead, 21-10 over Lee Summit West with just under 3 minutes left to go in regulation time. The Titans do have all three of their timeouts. Obviously, they need to get their offense going. At this point, if they can score in relatively short order, they wouldn't necessarily have to just onside kick and hope for the best. They will certainly need two scores one way or another. Kickoff will go deep and taken at about the 8 up the near sideline and out of bounds past the 25 to about the 27 is where the Titans will take over 1st and 10.
Reuben Miller.
Yeah, Miller on the return.
That's a new face.
I was going to say, well, I think they had tried to, figuring they're not going to kick it deep, try to put some of their returners in the up positions.
Sure.
And obviously special teams saw that and dealt with it. Heil comes out in the pistol formation. Back to throw he goes with time. He'll step up in the pocket, roll to the right side, being chased, and he throws it away. He threw in the general vicinity of Dickerson, but it'll be an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. 2:46 showing on the clock.
Yeah, the Titan receivers aren't getting a lot of separation, and Heil appears to not have the confidence to throw it in those tight spots.
They've got 4 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left. Heil looking over the middle. He'll throw right side, and it is incomplete. Intended for Hines. He was hit as he tried to catch it. A good defensive play by Gene Greco. We've called his number out a few times. And it'll set up a 3rd down and 10. And was it me, or did that seem a little alligator-ish there from Hines?
No, I don't think so. I think the ball was just that far behind, and Hines was reaching for it.
Yeah.
And just it was so far away from his body, he couldn't have an opportunity to pull it back in.
3rd down and 10. And on play action, Heil avoids one man, throws over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted, picked off by the Hawklets coming up the near sideline and knocked out of bounds at about the Titan 37 was Middleton, just playing center field. Now there's a flag down though. It's a shot block, I think, against the Hawklets. That probably happened after the interception, but I'm not sure. Because if it happened before, then the Titans would retain possession. If it happened during the run back, then it'll just cost the Hawklets yards, and that's really not that big a deal for them. For the way the teams are behaving, it looks like it happened afterwards. So that'll push them back 15 yards. To be honest, that if anything, that helps the Hawklets because it just gives them more yards to go where they can run more clock out.
Most definitely.
The Titans at this point, the best they can do is stop, 3 straight runs with timeouts, get the ball back and hope for the best. At that point, you probably are in a situation where you got to try and make your way down the field and go for an onside kick. It's, I realize I'm looking way ahead here, but the turnover, and that's probably not the best decision in the world for Heil there to just sort of throw it up for grabs.
Yeah, he just threw it into center field there, and
there wasn't really any Titans that were all that close.
Rockhurst made a nice play on it.
Titans going with 4 down linemen for basically the first time in the game. Toss sweep, Leggio. And he is forced down. Will they call it out of bounds? Boy, they are keeping the clock running. He did go out of bounds, but I guess they said he went down first.
Hit and rolled out of bounds, I guess, huh?
So a pickup of 5, second down. And the Titans not calling timeout yet.
Boy, what a tale of 2 halves tonight.
Yeah. So all Titans in the first half. They went into halftime with a 10-0 lead. 21 unanswered for Rockhurst. 21-10 with about 2 minutes to go. I formation. Twins on the right. Toss sweep again to that right side. Leggio, and he'll get a first down. Up near the 41, 42, 41. They'll stop the clock to move the chains, but there will be less than 90 seconds before they snap this next ball unless the Titans decide to call timeout.
You're being serenaded by the student section here. You hear them? Singing Country Road.
Okay.
Take me home.
I think that's intended toward us.
No.
Okay. Then we're not being serenaded.
Well, I just thought I'd put it out there just so you know.
Hawklets come out. And it's a give. Leggio off left tackle. Big hole. And he'll move the chains again. And at this point, again, they're stopping the clock with 1:06 to go to move the chains. But the Titans, with the body language of a defeated team, they have not been able to stop in this drive Leggio from getting a first down on any carry so far.
And a defense that had a lot of swagger early in the season.
Yeah.
That Titan team's now going to come out of here 2-3, and they're going to have to regroup.
And like I said, looks like the Titans have basically conceded, so they will take a knee. And that they might have one more. Now that's going to do it. That'll be the last play of the game. Once the Titans decided not to call timeouts after the first couple of carries, at that point, that was it. We're down at 20 seconds, and they counted down the teams on the field to what normally would be a shake hands, but in this pandemic situation, they wave at each other from the hash marks. Clock is down to 5 seconds. And that will do it. The Rockhurst Hawklets with a 21-10 victory over the Lee Summit West Titans, coming back from a 10-0 halftime deficit. They win their homecoming game with 21 unanswered points and win it today 21-10 over Lee Summit West. We'll take a break and come back with postgame coming up after this on high school football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
No matter what your goals are, competing at the next level, participating in a local 5K, or leading your team to state, the Sports Medicine Center at Children's Mercy is here to provide comprehensive 360-degree care for student athletes. Performance training, injury prevention, rehab services, nutrition, mental wellness, surgery, and more. It's not just about the next goal or the one after that. It's about supporting a lifetime of sport and helping every student athlete play healthy.
Welcome back to Rockhurst High School here in Kansas City. Joel Becker along with Mark Files. The Hawklets 21-10 winners over Lee Summit West this week in their homecoming game. Mark Files has some post-game numbers for you.
Well, the one number that really was the telltale tonight was the running game of the Hawklets in the second half. Total offense for Rockhurst, 330 yards. 54 plays.
This was a team that had, less than 100 yards in the first half?
That's right, 69 yards.
And they ended up with over 300.
80 through the air, 250 on the ground on 42 attempts. They averaged 6 yards per carry. Let's tell you who the big gun was. Well, that was number 33, Joe Leggio. He had 224 yards, averaged 6.8 yards a carry, had 2 touchdowns, and all that was done on 33 attempts. Now, that young man deserves a Gatorade. On me, I'll give it to him. Nice job. Ethan Hansen, he had 6 attempts for 30 yards. And then the receiving damage was done by Isaac Koch, 5 receptions for 76 yards, and, of course, 1 touchdown. Over on the Titans side, Surratt led the way with 74 yards on 16 attempts. He averaged 4.6 yards and a touchdown. And the top receiver was Trevor Ford with 1 catch for 13 yards for the Titans.
That was your top receiver.
That was your top receiver. The Titans ended up the game with 149 yards in total offense.
And they had that was almost their halftime number.
Yeah, they had 129 yards is what they had.
Yeah.
They had 24 yards passing. They had 125 rushing. That's how they ended up. They had 6 penalties for 45 yards. Rockhurst had 6 penalties for 50 yards. 15 of it came on that last interception play there at the end of the game. And even with each team had 2 turnovers. The Titans had 2 through the air. Rockhurst had 1 on the ground and, of course, 1 through the air as well. Time of possession, Rockhurst had the ball 26 minutes, 5 seconds. Lee Summit West had the ball 21 minutes and 14 seconds, so there's not a huge disparity in time possession, but boy, oh boy, in total yards, you bet. First downs, 19 for Rockhurst, 13 for the Titans. The Titans were 7 of 13 on third down conversions. Rockhurst was 5 of 11. And then, of course, the big fourth down conversion where they got that one, so they were 1 for 1 on that as well.
So, obviously we talked about this as being sort of a tale of 2 halves. As we mentioned, into the locker room, it was Lee Summit West with a 10-0 lead in this game. And they had double the yardage roughly in offense and 21 unanswered points for Rockhurst in the second half. They come back and, obviously did a great job. But the question, though, is was it really adjustments at halftime, or was it just accumulation of, you talked about just wearing down the Lee Summit West defense with run after run from Leggio until to the point where they just couldn't stop them anymore?
Well, and yes, I think that was what you just mentioned is probably what the end result was. But you got to give credit to the Hawklet defense because they did cause a couple of those 3-and-outs early.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were able to diffuse that Titan offense, that meant that the Hawklet offense was on the field, and they were just going to wear out the Titan defense. When you got a running back like Leggio, who just grounds and pounds and just gets up and goes play after play, it's discouraging if you're a defensive player. And it doesn't matter how many times you hit him. In the first half we were talking about he was getting stopped and knocked back. Well, second half he was hitting, bouncing off and falling forward, which was a key point of where the Titans basically just didn't have the juice to hold him back.
Yeah, and there were a few adjustments that they did make to to open up slightly bigger holes sometimes and give him better lanes to run in as well, which I do think made some difference also.
Well, and the Titans like to run that 3-3 stack defense, which there's two things that you're susceptible on: a strong running game.
And seam routes.
And seam routes is what it is. And so, every defense has got every defensive formation has got a weakness. Well, that happens to be the 3-3. And I'll tell you what, the Hawklets went to town on it.
Yeah. Well, and this evens up the record for the Titans. And you mentioned that they, the schedule doesn't get any better for them. Amazingly enough, next week may be the best chance they have to win a game from now till the end of the year, even, including the playoffs. You don't know. There's no way to know for sure. But the three teams they have left are Blue Springs, Lee Summit North, and Liberty North. Lee Summit North and Liberty North are probably the top two teams in Class 6, at least the way they're playing right now. North, by the way, and a game between two of those three teams, beats Blue Springs 35-0 tonight.
Wow.
And so that's a couple of things. That, first of all, means that when eventually West plays North in Lee Summit, it is not going to be an easy game for West. They are certainly playing well, the Broncos, I mean. The other thing that means is they're going to run into a Blue Springs team that has just been shut out. They are not going to be a happy squad when they come to Titans Stadium next week on Titans Homecoming.
No, they're not. They're going to be wound up, and they're going to be looking for bear, guaranteed. I was looking at the Hawklets schedule to see what they have coming up, and they've got DeSmet. Okay, so It doesn't get easier for them either. But tonight they got themselves healthy, got the running game going, and yes, DeSmet has a deep bench on both sides of the ball and got a lot of talent there. But they're going to have their hands full with taking down Leggio.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's the thing, is that Rockhurst has been on an upward swing for probably the last 2-3 weeks, certainly, or really the whole. From the beginning season till now, they have just gotten better from week to week, and they seem to be figuring themselves out as this season progresses. By the way, Liberty North, the other team that I mentioned, also big winner over Park Hill, 42-3, the final there. I was looking for some of the possible surprises this week among the scores. One that did kind of stick out that you wouldn't expect is Park Hill South and Staley. Game's not over yet. They're late in the fourth quarter, but South has a 22-7 lead over Staley.
Really?
According to this, anyway.
Wow.
That's off of Preps KC's little phone app.
Yeah, Staley's they're struggling tonight, or they're struggling this season. They've got a new coach, and they're trying to find their way through the wilderness, so to speak, up there in the Northland.
Yeah, plenty of other action, but not a whole lot in what I would say is all that much of a surprise. Although the Free State Mill Valley game, which was a big game on the Kansas side, Free State's winning the game. It's not over by any stretch of the imagination. 34-20, about 10 minutes to go, or 9.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But it's at Free State. That may make a difference. I don't know. But I thought Free State was going to have their hands full after losing to Olathe North and so on. But they're holding their own pretty well. But at any rate, that was lots of action, but none that I would say are huge surprises, really. It looked like a pretty good game over at Grain Valley. 4-0 in Grain Valley, 8-. What was the final there? It was like 8-7 or something like that, I think. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Well, that's a
9-8.
9-8.
Yeah, 4-0 over Grain Valley.
Wow. Fort O, of course, is a perennial power in Class 5, and Grain Valley's just jumped to that Class 5 level, so that's a...
All right, so obviously Leggio, player of the game. There's no point in much of a discussion there.
No, concur on that decision.
All right. Well, we thank you for joining us tonight. It was entertaining. I tell you what, if you were a Titan fan, watch the first half and turn it off. And if you're a Rockhurst fan, watch the second half. And you'll go home happy on both sides. Our final score, 21-10, the Hawklets over the Titans. Appreciate you joining us here on this high school football presentation, presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.